Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 9 of the Hockey Tank Podcast. This is November 14th, 2021 in historic Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. My name is Trevor Blackler, and as always, I'm joined today by the gentle genius, Stephen Hale. How's it going, my friend?
It's going good, buddy. It's nice to get on to go a bit earlier today, and it's a shitty Sunday in Corner Brook. It's a lot of fog, and it's not very nice. Something to occupy the time and talk about a bit of hockey. How are you?
For sure, man. No, good. We'll give a little bit of weather report at CBS too.
Yeah,
It's not bad here. It's a bit cloudy. I can see some blue skies poking out, but there's some gray clouds coming in from the east there, so we can expect some rain maybe just later on this afternoon. But
we're gonna have to do the Hockey Tank weather report every week now.
Yeah, weather report. Oh, geez. All right. So today on the program, we'll be discussing some hockey news from the past week. We'll also get to know another NHLer from the great land of Newfoundland. And we'll end things off with our top 10 picks for Stanley Cup contenders this year. If you're fine with that, Steve, we can dive right into it.
Yeah, let's get going, buddy. Let's hear the news.
So first of all, we'll just clue some things up with the Jack Eichel whole debacle. So he gets a warm reception from Chance, the mascot, and the rest of the Knights family. Did you see this?
I seen it, man. He was jumping out of was it like a limo he was in or something cool?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he was living the life now in Vegas.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, another point on him too. So his surgery was completed without complications. So what this means is we might see him back in the NHL as early as 3 months from now.
I seen a quote from his doctor on Instagram or Twitter, wherever it was, and he's talking about like his disc was really messed up, and they're glad they took it out.
Yeah,
like his disc was in hard shape. So like if he had continued his career like that, it would have shortened his career.
Yeah, I know, and he knew that, and I don't know. It's just where no hockey players or NHLers have ever done it before, but. Yeah.
Good for him, man, for standing up for what he believes in.
For sure, man.
His fucking body.
I think he's going to be a kind of a trailblazer in that sense too, because a lot of NHLers probably done things they didn't want to do just because management said, well, it's in your contract. It's, it was in the labor union agreements or whatever, the CBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know he's going to be a great trailblazer for that. No, I can't wait to see him in Vegas, man.
Yeah, let's hope they can turn it around because what are they, 7-6?
Yeah, they're not doing great, but I mean a lot of their players are injured or
Stone and Pat's ready. Stone just came back, so
yeah, and William Karlsson.
Yeah, he's injured too. Wow.
Yeah, so we'll see what they can do. Troy Terry is on an absolute tear. He's on a 13-game point streak, and he's got 18 points in those games. That's pretty unreal.
I think he scored a point. Was he playing last night?
No, I think his last game was Thursday, and he scored 3 points. He got 2 goals and an apple.
Oh wow,
dude, this guy is a stud, man. Like nobody expected him to be first line center, or is he center? He's
right wing.
Is he? All right. Well, he's on the top line, isn't he? Or he's playing with?
Oh, I would assume so.
Yeah. So nobody expected that. You think of Troy Terry as like a kind of a middle six guy. He's shifty and he's got great hands, but you don't think of him like a leader, like leading the team in points.
If he scores one more point this season, which I'd say he will tie last season's point totals with 20. He had 20 points in 48 games last year.
That's insane.
So yeah. It's pretty insane to see that out of nowhere. Like how does a player just turn it on like that out of nowhere? It's pretty insane. It's just
he's feeling it this season, and I don't know. Players go through that all the time. Either they're in a funk and they can't get anything going, or everything they touch is just magic. So,
well, he was always a pretty skilled guy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
5th round pick too.
Go on. Holy shit! I didn't know that. I knew he was late. Mm-hmm. That is a great steal.
Yeah.
Price is back for the Canadians, but he's still some time away from playing. So they brought up Louis Domingue, I believe, to take some time off of Jake Allen.
Caden Primo.
Caden Primo never came up.
Yes, he did, man. Didn't he?
No, he didn't. I think it was Lou. I think it's Deming.
I don't fucking know. I don't
I
know
think
who
Primo is
is
still in the
anymore.
AHL.
He's a young goalie too. They got.
Yeah, he's probably going to be Price's successor. When Price is done, I'd say he'll be ready to come in.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
For sure. Ovi passes Brett Hall for fourth all time in goals scored with 742. It's like every podcast now we're saying Ovi is passing someone else. Like, he's unstoppable this season.
His point totals are pretty insane this year too. Not even just his goal scoring.
No, he is on fire out of the gate.
Yeah, last year he played 45 games. He had 24 goals. This year he has 12 goals in 14 games, and he's way over a point per game. Last year he was 42 points in 45 games. This year he's 24 points in 14 games so far.
Yeah, he's fucked. He's I think he's first in my my hockey fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And Draisaitl's got more points in him, but Draisaitl gets a couple more assists, and he just
Draisaitl got 2 more goals than him actually too.
Go on. Oh shit, Draisaitl might be first now.
Draisaitl has 14 and Ovechkin has 12. So
Jason, how many points does Draisaitl have?
Draisaitl's leading the league. He has 28.
Holy
McDavid has 25. It's pretty insane how far they are above everybody else.
Yeah, they're head and shoulders above everyone else, and it's not even fair to the rest of the league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
good stuff. I think we were talking about this a bit last week, but Mrazek's going to be out 4 weeks with a groin injury. I don't think it was what his injury was out there, but now we know it's a groin injury and he's out 4 weeks. Is this guy a fucking piece of glass or something?
Seems like it, man. Jack Campbell's like holding the fort in Toronto lands, and he's doing a good job, man. He has like a 920 save percentage.
Yeah, I'll get into that later, man. He's looking really good.
But, and there was questions about who the starter was going to be for the Leafs because Mrazek obviously has more experience in the
honestly,
NHL.
I thought it was Mrazek, but that's probably just because he was in Detroit before, and I'm kind of a homer.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Campbell's a real starting goalie at this point, and he's probably going to end up making $5 or so mil. And Mrazek, if he doesn't, stop being a fucking piece of glass, he's probably going to find himself out of the league in a couple of years. Because I mean, he's not playing any games. Last year, he played how many games? Like just a handful.
Mostly between Nedeljkovic and
Reimer.
And Reimer, yeah, I think Mrazek probably played like 20, and then they.
I don't even think he played 20.
Oh yeah, it was shortened season. Yeah, there's no way.
I think he played like 11 or not even that.
Yeah.
So when you haven't played very many games in a 2-year span, like I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to stay at a certain level. Not saying he's playing bad in Toronto, but that it's just that he's
not playing
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, they call up Joseph Woll. Do you know anything about this guy?
Well, he played last night against Buffalo.
Yeah, they got the big dub.
Yeah, they won 5-4. He played pretty good. You can obviously tell he was very nervous. Like he kind of
like anyone would be.
Yeah, he was kind of second guessing some of the shots and stuff. And but I think he played well. And like you said, he's only a young guy, so you can't judge a young goalie by one game. You kind of need 20 or more games to see how he adapts, right? So we'll see. Young goalie, plenty of time.
If we were to judge a goalie off one game, though, could we say that Zach Fucale is a fucking stud?
Yeah,
he makes 21 saves in his NHL debut for a shutout. I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's impressive because he was deemed the guy who's going to pass Price when they drafted him. He was 36
he was
overall.
Drafted in what, 2015? He was McDavid's draft? I thought he was 2014.
It might be 2014. Around there anyways. And he was drafted 36.
Mid-2010s. But he's 26 years old now. He's played one game in the NHL. He's played on 4 different ECHL teams, and he's played on 5 different AHL teams. So this guy is a fucking total suitcase. But hopefully he carves out a decent little career now.
I hope so.
I mean, Washington got 2 good, solid goalies, so I can't see him staying in Washington. But hopefully he makes a good little trade piece to bring something back for a playoff push or something. Goes to a team that needs a goalie, so you can get a real chance at the NHL.
It'd be nice to see him get a backup job, man. Because I mean, he obviously had the talent like way back. when he was drafted in the second round. You don't take goalies in the second round for no reason. So
Yeah.
he obviously has a talent. I think with a lot of goalies, it's probably a confidence issue, man. He probably got buried, wasn't given the right opportunities. And for a long period of time after that, he probably said, well, I'm not good enough. But as his one NHL game shows, like, he's probably good enough to, like we said, we don't judge a goalie on one game, but if you were, he played fucking great. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I hope he gets a backup role somewhere, man. I love this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about
He
him.
seems like a nice dude too.
Yeah, I know. And in the dressing room after, did you see him getting like the game puck
Yeah.
and that shield that they passed
Yeah.
around? Like he was just like, good game, boys, like blocking shots out there. You guys got this. Like fucking
Yeah. He seems like a nice guy. Hopefully he's obviously going to play another game, because why wouldn't you play a goalie if he had a shutout?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, imagine if they just buried him in the AHL
That
again
would be
after that
so shitty,
shutout.
man. That would be so
Fuck.
shitty. I wouldn't be able to like do that if I was a general manager. I'd be like, give him a shot, at least till he plays like a couple bad games.
No, they got two solid goalies there. Like I can't see him staying around for a long period of time. They might play him another game, but he's just there to give.
Yeah, but isn't their backup injured?
Probably.
Who the fuck
Maybe
is
that's why I got
Washington's
the start.
backup this year?
Who?
Who is
They got
Washington's backup?
they got
Samsonov, and then they
Ilya
got
Samsonov and that other young Russian. Starts with a V. Jesus.
Vanacek.
Vanacek, yeah, Vitek, Vanacek.
He's a good goalie too, man.
He is, yeah. That's what I'm saying. They got two solid goalies, so
Yeah.
two Russians though, so they're always
I guess he's injured.
snowstorms up in the hotel rooms.
Yeah. They got a lot of Russians on Washington, man. Holy
Yeah,
fuck.
man, they must be having a party, all those Russians. They must love
Kuznetsov, Orlov, Ovechkin, fucking
it. Two of the goalies.
yeah.
What a
Jeez.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tuukka Rask was skating with the Bruins at the practice rink. Not skating with the Bruins, but skating at the Bruins practice rink, sorry. After returning from hip surgery. So pretty cool to see him back on the ice. It's unsure where he's going to play. He's a unrestricted free agent right now, so he could go anywhere. But a lot of people, well, not a lot, I just read one article on it, but said that he could be a cheap goalie for a playoff push if anybody was looking for one.
Edmonton.
I was
Sawing his
just gonna
ass.
say that. Yeah. I can't see him playing anywhere but Boston.
He doesn't want to leave Boston.
Boston kind of needs a goalie. They got All-American Swayman, but neither of them are really showing their
They're kind of both
potential as a
struggling.
starter. Yeah.
Who are you gonna send down though? Because if you send Swayman through waivers, I don't think he's on a two-way anymore.
Yeah, I guess they don't really have a choice to bring in him. To bring in Rask, do they? Because
if you send him down, then you lose Swayman. Then Rask is here for the rest of the year, but then next year you're looking for another guy.
Yeah.
Because Swayman's going to get
be
picked.
Ullmark, I guess, because Swayman is, I think, the future.
Yeah, but they signed Ullmark to a big deal, though. To like $5 million.
If it's big enough, I doubt anybody's going to take him this early in the season.
Yeah, I guess so. There's not much cap room in the league either, so that could be an option. But that would not look good. He would not take that well.
No, sending their starter or supposed to be starter goalie down.
After he signs a 4 or 5 year contract at a decent price, and he plays like 15 games, and they send his ass down.
No, I guess they will just rough it out with the two of those, and
we'll see.
Somewhere
maybe they have a roster spot. Rask signs a cheap deal, and maybe they can switch in between 3 goalies. Carolina did that for a while a couple years ago.
Yeah,
so that's an option.
Yeah, we'll see. Bob Murray has been replaced by Jeff Solomon as Ducks GM after an investigation revealed that Murray was doing some, I guess, like unprofessional conduct. It's still unsure like what that is. I didn't read up too much on it, but it just showed that like he was, I don't know, not treating.
I think it was hiring
right.
and firing stuff.
Yeah,
like within staff, like being hard on staff members and like threatening their jobs all the time, like saying like, if you don't do this, I can fucking fire you, stuff like that, right? I think that's what it was, and I think he's gone to like an alcohol abuse program to try and fix that. Apparently, he's a little bit too heavy on the booze, so he's trying to fix that up.
Yeah, it's a job with a
lot
of
you heard
pressure,
the fucking beat.
Yeah, that was Bob Murray chirping in from the. Yeah, fuck, no mind. Nathan McKinnon will be out 3 weeks with a lower body injury. This fucking sucks.
He's getting a couple bad bounces this year with his health. Seems
Yeah,
like
he is, man.
he hasn't played a lot of games. He's probably not going to get anywhere close to any awards at this point just because of that.
Yeah, I know. I think he was still up towards point per game though, just for him. But
Yeah.
he's not close to catching any of the big boys at like 20 points.
Yeah, he's having a tough year, but maybe it'll help him in the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe he comes around. He's a little bit more fresh come playoff time. But
Yeah, I mean this could be a I don't know, an opportunity more than it is like a threat, I guess, if he comes back and plays just as well and's got more energy than the rest of them.
yeah, we'll see. He carries Colorado in the playoffs anyways because he's a huge playoff guy. Like you see his point totals in the playoffs are insane.
Yeah.
He wants
Like
to
the
win,
year he
man.
almost beat Gretzky's record. He had like 15 games and like 26 points or something.
He wants to win, man, so bad.
Yeah.
I can see Colorado winning just because he has a draw to win.
Yeah, for sure. He's a force, man. You can drag a team in the playoffs. He's probably the third best player in the NHL for my money. You got those two big boys in Edmonton, and then he's right behind him.
Yeah, he at one point I had him second, but I think Draisaitl probably surpassed him.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people say like, oh, Draisaitl is only good because he has McDavid, but a lot of Draisaitl's goals he got in this past week, McDavid weren't involved in. They were on separate lines.
I think he's the second best player in the league. I think that's just an excuse for people who don't want to believe it.
Yeah, probably. Anthony DeAngelo was fined $2,000 for embellishment against Panthers. I didn't see this play, but it was just in the news, so figured I'd report it.
It's good reporting. He's a fucking bum.
I don't mind him. I think he's a good player. He's just I don't know, cancerous in the locker room with around the wrong people. So
yeah,
and I mean the wrong people, just as in anybody not from North America. So
I think the Sharks should go trade for him.
They have way too much cap space tangled up in defensemen, man. They gotta.
Yeah, man.
But
imagine him and Evander Kane in the same locker room.
Oh my god,
that'd be sick.
Yeah, while they're at it, they should bring in.
What's his name? Ilya Brzgalov. Bring him out of retirement. Sign him in San Jose. What a locker room that would be to go into.
Oh man, there'd just be fist fights in there, man. It'd just be like an underground fight club.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, talking about people fighting. The Senators have 9 people on COVID protocol, so they're trying to battle off this bad wave of COVID pretty hard. Mm-hmm. Sucks, man. Yeah. Ottawa was looking good too at the beginning of the season, but they just kind of got kicked in the dick here now.
They're falling apart, man. They're not. Their record's bad, and I wonder, is DJ Smith on a hot seat?
I don't think so. I mean, you can blame a lot of things in Ottawa. I don't think the coach is necessarily involved. A lot of people say they like playing in his system. Says he's a good coach, so I think they're gonna let him go just because the team is young and inexperienced.
Pierre Dorian said they expect to make the playoffs, and they got the least points in the Eastern Conference right now, so it's not looking that way. But you never know.
What else are you supposed to say if you're the GM? You don't want to come out and like say, yeah, our team's fucking shit and everybody knows it. So you got to say something like that.
Our team's shit and everybody knows it. There'd be a sick quote put up on Instagram, like his face and then the quote there.
Imagine.
That's funny.
No, but not everybody's as bold as that Swiss coach from the World Juniors.
No, yeah.
They should hire him as the coach, man.
I loved him, man. I love the interview. I'll never forget that interview. It's Canada. We're not going to beat them. Are you kidding? What a way to pump up the boys in the room.
Hey, boy. The boys are watching down the screen in the locker room, just like, yeah, come on, coach, fucking say something sick. And it's just like,
yeah, we're not going to beat them.
We're not going to win. Are you crazy? Fucking.
He was a sick coach.
Yeah, he did all right for that Swiss team. They had a couple good players.
Yeah,
did. One of them got drafted last year. I can't remember in the 3rd round. Their captain. I can't remember his name though.
I think they had a guy drafted who played on that team. His name was Nino Eggenberger.
Yeah, the defenseman, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna look.
They have a Swiss goalie coming up too. Can't remember where he got drafted either.
I'm not sure.
Look up Swiss's captain. He's got a sick name. It's just like 5 letters long, but it's got a good ring to it. Sure. While you're doing that, I guess I'll report Rick Nash's jersey, number 61, will be retired by the Blue Jackets on March 5th, 2022.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's
Good for
sick.
him.
Deserves it,
And
man. He's the best
honestly,
jacket.
it does, man. That's who I think of when I think of Blue Jackets.
Yeah, he's the best
It,
jacket
it
there.
yeah, it could be like 30 years from now, and I'll still think of Rick Nash.
Yeah, he's
Um,
iconic, man, for that organization. Definitely.
yeah, and pretty good number to retire too, because who the fuck else wants number 61? Like that's kind
Yeah,
of like a random number.
it is. I would never want. That's a gross number, man. As far as I'm
No, I
concerned.
wouldn't
But
want 61. I wouldn't want 64, and I would not
yeah,
want number 44.
no, I don't know. I like. I
We should fuck man on the pod someday. We should like rank every number from all the way from 1 to 98, just because nobody can touch 99.
yeah, I
Just like how
guess.
shit numbers are.
Yeah, that'd be weird. That'd be like a math episode.
A math episode.
The math special.
Yeah,
Rate
we'll
numbers.
do that on
Math day.
March 14th.
Yeah.
Pi Day
Pi
three
day. Yeah.
314.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
No, it's not. Fuck that. Does it even?
We could rate the
That'd be a
players who
long
wore the
ass.
numbers.
Yeah. Best player to ever wear each number. Jeez, I just fucked that. No, that'd be sick
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's focus on this episode instead of episodes 3 months from now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
All right. Sounds good.
Braden Colburn is retired from the NHL after 16 seasons. He was on the 2020 Tampa Bay Cup winning team. So hell of a career from Colburn. Just known as a stay-at-home defenseman, block shots, and could throw around the body too.
Pretty much. Like I've never seen a Braden Coburn highlight because I don't think they exist. But
I think he got a diving goal in 2020.
did
I think
he?
he was on the rush with another defenseman, or not another defenseman, but another forward, and they sauced it across, and he dove at it and scored.
Didn't
Or
he play
maybe
in
he made the
Ottawa?
pass. I can't remember, man. I think he was kind of a suitcase. The most notable for me is he was on Philadelphia's team in the mid 2010s when they were doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's
I think he was also on Anaheim.
yeah, he stuck around for a while, man. I remember seeing Braden Coburn throughout the years in NHL games and everything. It's just like, oh, he's still alive.
16 seasons, man.
Yeah, that's a long
So
career.
that is a long career. I mean, that's just like he could have played like partial seasons and then AHL some seasons, but I think he's always been like a sixth or seventh defenseman on teams.
Yeah,
He didn't
I
have
think
a
you're right.
long AHL career, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure he's Canadian. I'm pretty sure he played for Team Canada and World Juniors like way back in the day too.
Probably, yeah, I wouldn't remember that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Eric Brandstrom will be out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken hand. Kind of sucks for him, but he wasn't having a great season. I mean, I didn't see him a lot in the box scores of any games. So
He's not living up to that what he was thought of in that Stone trade so far.
no, he's not.
I'm just gonna have to wait and
Yeah,
see.
yeah. I mean, he was a hell of a prospect, and he can skate, but I don't know. He's not big enough to be an effective like stay at home like defensive defenseman, and he doesn't have like I don't know a great shot from the point or like I don't know good passing to be an offensive defenseman like quarterback a power play yet. So
Yeah, I don't know if he's sometimes it just doesn't translate, man, no matter how good you play in the AHL. So
hmm,
we'll see what he does. He was highly thought of in that trade. Like there, I remember Craig Button had him on a list of prospects too. Like he was one of the top prospects affiliated with the NHL club. So
yeah,
he's kind of dropping off a little bit in that regard. But it's kind of you just got to wait and see. Like, does he really get it together? Give him a couple years, and if
I mean
not,
he's still fairly young. I mean, when
yeah,
was he drafted? Like,
the year
well, if he
Vegas
was
came in,
drafted by Vegas, it was definitely after 2017.
it was the first year they came in. His second round pick.
Yeah, man, he's got a lot of time to come in yet. I give defensemen and goalies a lot more time than forwards, just
Yeah.
because there's less jobs in the NHL for defense and goaltenders, so sometimes take a while.
Yeah, it usually takes a few extra years for
Yeah.
those guys.
Speaking of Mark Stone, though, he plays first games with Vegas after being out with a lower body injury, so that's good.
Did
He
they win
tweaked his
last night?
groin or something. He got an assist last night. He never scored, but
Oh yeah,
I don't know. It's his first game back. He'll
I get it
he'll
going.
get going for sure.
Hmm.
Crosby also returns tonight on Sunday, November 14th from COVID protocol to play with the Pens. So hopefully
That's good
he
news. He's only played
Yeah, I
one
know.
game.
Yeah, and he's -3, so he's got to make up for that.
Yeah, he'll fix that.
No, but the league's not the same without Crosby in it, so I'm happy to see him come back. And it's not as exciting, Like it's always nice to see like a Crosby highlight. 'Cause it's like, damn, the kid still got it. So hopefully he comes
Backhand
back.
goal with one hand on the stick.
Yeah, during against Buffalo doesn't count. Fuck. Um, no,
No, he's gonna do good. He'll come back and it'll be Crosby. He'll be point per game, we'll say.
I hope so, man. What else do we got here? Alex Newhook gets his first in the league. So on behalf of the Hockey Tank podcast, congratulations, Alex. Hopefully you
Yes,
get
sir.
many more.
He scored a playoff goal too last year.
Yeah, but that doesn't count in.
I know, for a regular
as
season
your-
goal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it was
yeah,
a nice
he
goal
did.
too.
I remember that. It was a
One timer, I
timer
believe.
from one knee. It was sick.
Yeah.
Crosby knee drop. It looked really good.
Yeah,
I
it
can't believe
did.
how open he was. I guess people aren't giving him kind of the respect yet because he's still a rookie, So
Yeah.
when he pops in a couple more, he'll probably have more people on him covering him.
Yeah.
So.
Mhm.
Dawson Mercer also got a goal and an assist the other night and got third star in his game. And I don't know if it was after or before, but he also donated $1,000 to Make-A-Wish Newfoundland branch.
Yeah.
So that's good. And that was a fan voted. So the fans of New Jersey voted him the player of the month for that team. So congrats, Dawson. I think you were saying before he's got 10 points in 13 games, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's a great start to an NHL career.
For sure.
Better start than the old Jack Hughes down in New Jersey. Better start and laugh. Better start and cackle. Man, this guy's a top 6 forward in my eyes.
I think so too. I never thought it when he was drafted. I was like, all right, good penalty killer, whatever, bottom 6 forward. But this guy really has a lot of offensive talent.
Yeah, he's quick, man. He's quick on the puck, man. He makes good decisions, and he does it quickly. So
He looks big on the puck too. There's been a couple plays where he's actually had to fight off like full grown, like 28-year-old men that's been playing in the league for like 5 years, and he has had to fight them off and still had possession of the puck.
Yeah, he's kind of a runt, man. He gets in the corners and just digs it out. Brian Burke would love this guy.
Yeah, bring him to Pittsburgh. Make him play with Crosby, and he'll get 50
Oh,
goals.
that'd be sick. Anyways, New Jersey now, so he'll do fine there.
It would be pretty cool at some point in their careers if Newhook and Dawson played on the same line.
That would be cool.
Do you think they will, like for Team Canada, then like, I don't know, 5 years from now when they're really in their prime? That'd be pretty cool.
I don't know if they're going to make Team Canada.
Oh, not this year. I'm talking about like in 5 years when they're in their prime. If they keep going at this trajectory.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to say. There's so many good Canadian hockey players. Canada could have like 3 Olympic teams. So
they could, honestly. They should just have an exclusive tournament just for Canada.
I think if they had the World Cup again, like the North America, Team Europe, I think he'd be on Team North America.
Yeah,
because it's
the young guns there.
Yeah, it's like Canadian and American players under 23 years old.
Yeah, that was a sick team, man. That was unreal.
McDavid, Matthews,
McKinnon.
First line. Yeah.
Yeah,
Riley was there too. Actually, was it Riley? I think Riley was there too.
He was under 23 then? What year was that? 2018?
Was it 24? That was 2016. That happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was Matthews' draft year.
Oh, it was too. Yeah, it was his first year there. You're right.
His Matthews' first game in Air Canada Center was in a North America jersey. Team North America jersey, not a Leafs jersey.
Yeah, well, he probably played a lot better in that Leafs jersey in his first game.
Yeah.
And was that in Ottawa that he played?
That was in Ottawa.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah,
I remember seeing that, man. I was hyping up to my math teacher in high school how good this guy was going to be. Rod Grinham. Do you remember Rod Grinham?
Obviously, man, Mr. G.
Yeah, I was hyping that up to Mr. G.
Beauty. What's his favorite team?
Leafs.
Leafs, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the R&J Hamburger story?
RJ Umberger. Yeah, you get drafted. He thought it was RJ Umberger.
I said that story, man, when he told me that. I was crying.
Yeah. I forgot RJ Umberger existed till you just said that.
Yeah, man. Great career in Columbus and Philadelphia.
Worst spots to have a career.
Yeah. Jesus.
Oh my.
Imagine somebody coming up now plays their full career with like Arizona, Buffalo, and fucking, I don't know. Just those two teams.
That would suck.
never get past like 25th overall in the league.
Even if I started my career in Columbus and then they traded me to Philly, I'd be like pissed. I'd be like, yeah, I'm playing a new sport. Like, give me the tennis racket, give me the golf clubs. Like, fuck this. Unless you trade me out of these shitholes, like, put me on a decent team.
What about Jake Voracek gets drafted to Columbus?
That's true.
Fuck yes. I finally get to go play with like Claude Giroux and all these sick Philadelphia players. And he's there for like 10 years and then like, never mind, buddy. Back to fucking Columbus. See ya.
He's got a bit of shit luck there. Even Cam Atkinson went to Columbus to Philadelphia, so those guys aren't living it up. Not the way I'd want to be in the NHL. Not roast Philadelphia or Columbus, but
you gotta get it in there every episode, man. You gotta get the chirping in there somehow.
There's probably a few more exciting places to play, right?
Yeah. Even like Arizona, man, you get the sun in Columbus. I don't know what you get there.
You get robbed on the way to the rink.
Yeah. You get 300-pound prostitutes and fucking bunk cocaine. Fuck that.
That's a life, man. What more could a man want?
That's true, man. That's true.
What about in Philly? Like, you get
good.
Stabbed going to the rink.
Yeah, you get stabbed going to the rink, and then fucking the last thing that'd be left on you is like fucking $3 for a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Actually, you took the words in my mouth. Philly cheesesteaks are good though.
I had one in PEI, and I did not fucking. It wasn't a Philly cheesesteak. It was a fucking PEI cheesesteak. It was fucking trash, man. Do you know Montreal Steak Spice?
Yeah.
They fucking murdered the steak in that, man. My lips were burning eating it. It was nuts.
Oh no.
Yeah. Anyway, Jesus Christ, we're getting a bit off course here, aren't we? Anyway, that's it for my news. I just wanted to say that both Noofs are in the NHL now and tearing it up.
Is that how we started that conversation?
Yeah, we started that talking about Dawson Mercer, and we got the PEI cheesesteaks and how they murder their fucking steak in Montreal Steak Spice.
I think we should rename this to the Ramble. This podcast.
Honestly, yeah. People click on it and it's like, oh, hockey, cool. And then they listen to us talk about fucking food and getting stabbed in Philadelphia for 3 minutes. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I got a couple of bits of news here too I want to talk about before we move on.
All right, let her fly.
Seen on the old internet. Canucks owner Francesco Aquilini is on the road trip with the team now, so that's never a good sign.
No, he wants
when
to
the owner wants to.
Functioning.
Yeah. And they're not playing well. I think they're 4-6 and 2 or something.
They're getting better. Demko's starting to play a bit better now, but
it's not good enough for the players they acquired.
I know, and the money they got sunk into that team now. And
the longer they sit in a position like that, the more teams ahead of them make their distance. So I mean, if they don't pony up, I can't see them making the playoffs this year. And if they do, even 20 games in, man, you can knock yourself out the playoffs.
Yeah, easy. Arizona already got it.
Yeah, Montreal and Ottawa's pretty well doing it. Like,
yeah, I said that Montreal was gonna sneak into the playoffs too. So maybe if Price comes back and puts up like a 950 save percentage every game, but
yeah, we'll have to see. He's more of a playoff goalie too, right?
Yeah,
he turns it on in the playoffs. But we'll have to see. But it's never a good sign when the owner wants to come on the road trips.
Yeah, no, it's one thing to set at the home games, but. There's no doubt he's got other business too. So he's got like his hands in a lot of other things. So to take the time to actually follow the team around and see what's going wrong is not a good sign.
No, I wouldn't want to be. Hopefully he's not taking the same plane as them. That'd be a bit of an awkward plane ride.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be a quiet plane ride. Nobody would be joking.
Everybody be reading books and shit.
Yeah, everybody be analyzing game tape.
Yeah, the full ride. Yeah. Onto some more news. I seen this. I don't know how much truth is to it. I take it with a grain of salt. It says, I believe Jeff Merrick tweeted it, or I'm not sure who tweeted it, but it said that the Kraken could have Mark Giordano put on the trade block by the deadline. So that's pretty weird because, I mean, you give a guy the first captain in franchise history. I wouldn't expect that you'd want to trade him out for assets so quickly.
I mean, that's what I would have done, though. I wouldn't have named him captain. I would have did the Vegas route, just didn't have a captain for my first couple of years. Just in case, if they were good this year and making playoff pushes, like just keep no captain and then name a captain next season when you're established. But like, I don't know. He would definitely be on the trade block if I were Seattle. Seattle is what 30th in the league right now. I think they've only won like 3 or 4 games, so
I had
they
him picked
can't.
making the playoffs.
Yeah, I know, and I didn't feel comfortable with that because I knew Vegas picked some good players, but I didn't see the same offensive players go to Seattle.
They definitely took a different route when they were drafting.
Yeah, Vegas did a lot more strategic drafting and said, okay, give me like this draft pick and I won't pick this player and stuff like that. But
The thing is with Seattle, teams learn to not make those deals anymore as
yeah,
well.
I guess it was different for Vegas.
They kind of knew what to expect. Teams knew what to expect, so they kind of knew what, like, if we had to give up a top 6 forward, we can always figure it out. It's not the end of the world. So, anyways, yeah, it'd be weird. I think it'd be a bad look to trade out your captain. Is all I'm saying.
100%. It just dissolves every bit of like loyalty you got with the players, right?
Yeah, it's not a good look. And some more news. PK Subban is a name that could be moved at the deadline as well, as he's on an expiring contract, and New Jersey could retain half his salary. He could go to a team that needs him. What do you think about that? Sure. Do you think he could go anywhere interesting?
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's only for player or teams looking for like a 6 defenseman or something. I don't think he's got a top 4 role in the league anymore, man. He doesn't have the offensive ability, and he's never been a defensive defenseman anyway. So it's only for, I guess, if you've got like a young core or something, you're looking for a bit of older, I guess.
You know what I was thinking?
Or whatever.
When I read this, I was like, where could a fit be for Subban on a team that's kind of like going on a push? Because a team that's in the hunt to contend is going to trade for him, because they're not. Yeah, it's not going to be a team.
You're not going to find a rebuilder or anybody sub. I would say 20th in the standings right now, going after him.
I was thinking Winnipeg could be a good look if they retain half salary in New Jersey, because Winnipeg wouldn't hurt for them to get some defensive depth. They've already got the forwards.
Not at all. But
what do you think of that?
What's PK's value? Maybe a 3rd rounder and a
third rounder and a roster
prospect.
I'd say a 3rd rounder and a bottom roster player.
What's New Jersey looking to get back? Is New Jersey wanting to fill that defensive spot?
I don't know. It depends. But I think that Winnipeg could satisfy a trade with New Jersey because they got a lot of pieces, right?
Mm.
I think it would be a good move. That's the first thing I thought of when I read this rumor. And obviously it's a rumor. So like I said, take it with a grain of salt. But I think he'd look good in Winnipeg, man. What do you think?
I think he'd look good too in Winnipeg. I think another home form could be Calgary. I think Calgary's missing a bit of defensive depth there.
Last year, Dano.
Yeah.
Not saying PK Subban's on that level anymore, but he could certainly fit in the bottom pair.
He should be there just to like teach the young defensemen, like, I don't know, the ways of the road to NHL as a defenseman or something like that. Like, he's not in there to get you points, and he's not in there to stop the puck from going in the net. Like, he's only in there to give advice to young guys and rear them up, I think.
Yeah.
And he could kill some clock. I mean, he's not the worst defenseman I've ever seen.
He's not bad at passing the puck either, man. He's pretty good. He doesn't get the assists like he used to, but he can still move the puck up the ice.
Yeah, I think he gets caught a lot trying to do like one too many moves or something, or taking like the puck for a skate sometimes because he still thinks he's got it, right? And then just gets caught and like blows a tire or something. But if he just I don't know, if he just worked on his defensive game, I think he could find a new role in the league and stay around for a few more years.
He's definitely not signing a big $9 million deal next offseason.
I wouldn't say. I'd say he's one of the most overpaid defensemen in the league right now.
I'd say he's looking at 3 to 4.
I would say he might get lucky and get 4, yeah.
And maybe, 2 or 3 year deal, pretty much.
2 years, $4 million, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. Another rumor. I'm running off rumors here today. I'm not running off actual news.
All right, I'll be the fact guy. You be the rumor guy.
Okay, a potential candidate for the Ducks GM position, full time, could be Jeff Gorton, former New York Rangers GM, who got fired last year when there was a bit of a controversy there, wasn't there, when they said something about.
Everybody was saying because Reeves is like taking over that organization. Isn't it so funny that he's there now? Or I know who Tom Wilson was taking over the organization because Tom Wilson dropped Panarin and punched Buchnevich or whatever, and then
They
right
put up a
after that
statement.
whole thing, yeah,
They
he
talking about the
posted a statement.
NHL, about talking about George Peros and how he makes like bad decisions and everything, and shitting on the refs and everything. So
Yeah,
he kind of got fired for that because I think that was his doing.
yeah. Well, obviously he's general manager, so he looks over all operations. It wasn't just like the social media guy was like, you know what, fuck the refs. I'm gonna send out this little tweet here now. It definitely
Yeah,
came from him, and if it didn't,
yeah,
I mean, somebody lower would have
yeah.
got the hand for it instead of him.
And I like Jeff Gordon. I think he's a great GM when he was in New York. I think he put a lot of good pieces in New York. Panarin, I think he was involved in Zibanejad, involved in bringing Ron Strome in, involved in getting Adam Fox, drafting those young players who were supposed to be good, but that has to do more with coaching than the GM. Let's be honest. It's not his fault that they're not getting developed. He's not teaching them the game.
Yeah, I guess the big moves I didn't really like them because I was looking at moves like sending Brennan Lemieux and Elias Anderson out for just like I don't know not shit draft picks. I mean, third and fourth rounders are good, but just trading out like really good depth for just draft picks that you're probably not going to find those caliber players at. I was thinking about the little deals, but for the big stuff he was doing, bringing in Fox and stuff, I mean, that was just as much. Fox could have been the GM in that deal, though. Fox, that was the place Fox wanted to go, so he was willing to do anything to get back to New York. Zibanejad was good from Ottawa. Strome was good for Edmonton, and I don't think they lost too much. I think what they sent back for Strome, like
Ryan Spooner, was it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was like Ryan Spooner in like a fourth round or something. So
yeah, so
it's a great pickup.
I think he's a good GM, man. I think he definitely he does analyst work now at ESPN, I think. So or NHL Network, whatever it is. So I think he's definitely got a position in the NHL in the future. He seemed like he made some good decisions, but we'll see. And I think that's pretty much it from my news. I wrote down here there some potential destinations were Tarasenko because he still wants to be traded. Could be New York Islanders, New York Rangers, Philly, or Boston. You see him moving this year with St. Louis doing well?
Not the Boston. New York Islanders got their defensive-minded team. I don't think Tarasenko would buy into it. Philadelphia could be a spot, but Cam Atkinson's playing just as good as what Tarasenko is.
I don't see any team being able to take on Tarasenko. I think he's kind of just there.
I don't think he wants to be moved because he's having a good season. St. Louis is proving that they're still a playoff contender.
He hasn't taken in his trade request, so he's as far as everybody's saying on the internet, he still wants to be traded.
So, I don't see where he could go. I mean, anybody that's got cap for him is probably out of the playoffs or already has that roster spot filled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's all you can do. Poor old Tarasenko won't be selling his house yet.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of teams are looking for center depth or like a second line center. So
not a winger.
Exactly. Everybody's got their wingers. Well, not everybody, but the people that don't probably can't afford them, and the people that don't have it don't need them because they're in a rebuild, and the people that do need them can't because they have no cap space. So
cap space is a struggle these days.
Yeah,
that's it for me on the news.
The new oil, man. If you got cap space, you have so much power in the league now. Like look at Arizona. They got a lot of draft picks brought in just because they had cap space and was willing to take those players on, right?
Mm-hmm. Cap space is gold, man.
That's right.
That's it for me for the news. I don't know if you have anything else to add.
No, that's it for me, buddy. Stay tuned, folks. Up next, we'll have a Hockey Tank podcast, NHL New for the Week segment. So you're not gonna want to miss that. So we'll see you then. Now, as always, let's give a warm Hockey Tank welcome to our own hockey historian, Caleb Smith. What's up, man?
Oh, that's it, buddy. Having a plate of Chinese food. Nothing but the best from Cookie from Tullengate, man.
Yes, sir. That's our new sponsor,
Fine dining.
Cookie from Tullengate.
Fine dining, buddy.
Yeah. Nothing but the best.
What'd you order?
I just, unfortunately.
Combination B?
I usually get the combination A, but I just got some fried noodles, man. Sitting the spot, too, I must say.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, I had Walk Box yesterday, man. It was sick. Long time since I had that.
Man,
I got kicked out of a Chinese buffet the other day, actually.
Why, for eating too much?
No. One of my buddies faked his Vax pass and they got all upset.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
I didn't know about it, boys. Don't hate on me. But anyways, there was a bit of a riot there. But we ended up
That's
all
all
right.
right.
Interesting hockey podcast so far, I must say.
Yeah.
My Chinese food.
Yeah.
Anyways, buddy.
I think we're making all the listeners hungry.
Yeah. Let's hear the noof before I get too hungry.
The new for the week this week is Tony White, a left winger from Grand Falls.
Wow.
And I got
Falls boys in here.
Yeah, this is our third Grand Falls guy, and I think, to my knowledge, there is only 3, so this is the third of the 3.
That's good news.
Yep. No more armed robberies in the stores. Oh, man. Anyway, Tony White made his junior debut in 72-73 season with the Kitchener Rangers, and he put up back-to-back 53 points right off the start.
Wow.
So he did good in junior. So he was drafted his first year eligible. He was drafted 161st overall in the 1974 NHL draft by the Washington Capitals. But also he was drafted 145th overall, in the 1974 draft by the New England Whalers of the WHA. So in the same year, he got drafted in both leagues. So Tony had a bit of a decision to make. Am I going to play in the WHA or am I going to the NHL? And Tony went and decided to go to play for the Capitals. He went to the NHL.
That's a
Great
good
decision. In the long run, he probably could have got paid more in WHA, but he wanted that NHL fame.
Yeah, man, for sure. I can't blame him there. Tony made his NHL debut in the 74-75 season. He played 5 games for the Capitals and he got 2 assists. But he played the majority of that season in the IHL. So, I mean, he played his first full pro season in the IHL, but he got 5 games up there with the Caps just to get his foot in the water, I guess.
Yeah.
And then in 75-76, he had his first full NHL season. He had 80 games played. He scored 25 goals, 17 assists, and got 42 points.
That's a good year, man.
Holy shit, man.
Oh, man, he tore it.
25 goals.
25 goals in his first full NHL season. So, his rookie season.
Yeah.
That's sick.
You can't get much better than that.
The next year
26.
The next year wasn't so good for Tony, man. In 76-77, he played 72 games, and his points literally half. He went into 21 points. He had 12 goals and 9 assists. So I don't think Washington was too pleased about that. In 77-78, he played the entire season besides 1 game with the Hershey Bears in the AHL. He played 1 game for the Capitals, and that was his last game in a Washington Capitals uniform.
What a way to bury a fellow. Jesus Christ.
Man.
Give him some redemption.
I know, man.
Probably the coach.
Could have been the coach. Could have been where Washington was so shit in the 70s, man. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Buried.
Did they trade him or did he just get buried in the minors?
He wasn't done in Hershey. In 78-79, he played his final full season in the AHL with the Springfield Falcons. And then in 79-80, he got his final crack on the NHL ice. And it's very fitting that you're wearing that North Stars jersey there, Trevor. He played 6 games with the Minnesota North Stars.
Thank you, sir.
Unfortunately,
that's why I wore it for Tony.
Yeah.
He didn't get any points, but he got 4 penalty minutes to show for his time in Minnesota.
Nice. Got on the score sheet.
Yeah.
He played 1 more pro season in North America in the CHL. That was the Central Hockey League. And his final 2 professional hockey seasons came in the top German league. So he also went overseas.
We got some international newfies.
Yeah.
I didn't realize so many newfies went overseas to play.
Yeah. That's pretty who was the other guy who went to Germany? One of the first guys on the Newfie.
Jason Morgan you might be talking
Yes, about? Yeah, he was a coach, right?
Yeah, he was now. Coach.
Yeah. That's cool. We got a lot of Newfie Germans.
We got so many listeners over there.
Yeah, we do. Shout out to our German listeners.
Shout out to Germany. We're gonna have to go to travel to Germany and do a podcast.
Yeah.
Tony White's total NHL stats were 164 games played. He scored 37 goals, and 25 of which came in his rookie season. 28 assists and 65 points, but he also got 104 penalty minutes in those 164 games.
Wow.
Proved.
I think he was more of a elbow or not a elbow or slasher, not a fighter, if you know what I mean. That's how he racked
Rat.
up.
It's
I
fucking
mean, if he
rat.
can, if he could score goals like that, he probably wasn't expected to fight too often.
Yes, man.
He's
From
used
the
to
sounds
slashing
of it-
people, man. He's from Grand Falls. I'm sorry.
Steven,
That's
man, we're
me.
gonna have the whole town of Grand Falls after us, man.
Once they
They're
find
gonna
out my
cancel us on
address, I'm
Twitter.
done.
They're gonna cancel us on Twitter for hate speech, man.
Yeah, when they find my address, I'm done.
Oh, man.
I definitely won't leak it on the Instagram page.
No.
Caleb,
Safety-
it seems to me like this guy kind of got buried because he didn't like to pass the puck. He was a bit greedy. I'd like to see his shots on goal. He got 25 goals, and even in his next season where his points halved, I mean, he still got 12 goals and he only got 9 assists. Usually
That's right,
assists
man.
come pretty easy.
Yeah. I mean, who knows, maybe he was a bit of a puck hog. I mean, I wish I could have watched all these guys play.
Yeah, me
size
too.
up myself. Yeah, but I mean, we just got to go by the stats at this point. That's all that's left, unless you got some Tony White footage on some VHS tapes you want to break out or something.
Man, I'll go down the rabbit hole. I'll be the only one in history to look for Tony White footage.
Oh, man.
Is
You
he
know
in the
if he did any-
Is he in the Hockey Hall of Fame for Newfoundlanders?
It didn't say, but I mean, I would assume he wouldn't. He would be. I
Yeah.
mean, for a
any
guy that
any
played-
Newfoundlander that probably made the NHL or any professional league probably got into the Hall of Fame here.
yeah, man. I just didn't say it didn't show where year he was inducted or anything like I've seen from previous players.
Yeah. Do you
Oh,
know
yeah.
if he did anything in hockey related after his career?
Nope, didn't say much. I mean, it's harder to find stuff about these older guys. I mean, I can find some more recent, like Jason Morgan. He was a more recent player, and I found a shit ton about him. But
Yeah.
these older guys, there's really limited info on them. I hopefully for the Instagram post, you can take out some stuff that I didn't cover.
Yeah, I'll try to dig some stuff up for that.
Yeah, man, can't see why he got buried in the minors after that 25 goal season.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Absolutely fucking buried, man.
Well, they definitely
Well,
gave him his chance, but then he just didn't live up, and I guess
That's right.
I don't know. That's a shit team. That was a shit Washington team, though. I'm surprised they didn't say fuck it, man. Just put him on the third or fourth line. If he wants to hog the puck down there, man, no big deal. Or I guess it is a big deal. They're probably worried about their plus minus down there. Yeah, but interesting player, man. There's a lot to assume here. I wish we had a bit more info on him.
Yes, man.
Maybe-
The legend of Tony White from Grand
Maybe we can dig up a bunch of information and go interview one-on-one with all these Newfoundlanders and make a big documentary series like
Yeah,
Toronto Maple
maybe
Leafs All or Nothing.
maybe someday somebody on this podcast will write a book about all these Newfoundland players.
Wink,
Yeah.
wink, wink, wink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm planning it.
Hey, you got the writing process started.
Yeah, well, Caleb, I'm literally robbing all this information.
Yeah, honestly, Caleb, I'm taking all this info to the bank, and I'm gonna make millions. And not
You're
gonna
fucked. Your
send-
name's not even gonna pop up on it.
Dude, if you can make millions off a book of new hockey players, then props to you.
buddy. We
Yeah.
can, buddy. We
You
can
can make
sell
$1.
500. We'll sell 500,000 copies alone in Germany.
Yeah,
I
probably.
guarantee it. I
Probably.
guarantee it, buddy. And then
Be
we'll
a-
sell like 3 here. We'll have like 13 books sent to chapters on Kemet Road or
Well,
something.
geez, man, if you can literally publish a book and it's basically a New York Times bestseller, because every goddamn book I see is
They,
a New York
I
Times
think they sell
bestseller.
those labels, man. There's no way every single book that comes out is a New York
Yeah,
best time seller.
we'll just put that on there anyways. They won't care.
Honestly, yeah, I'm just gonna make my fucking St. John's best time seller or whatever the hell it's called.
Newfoundland Herald.
Newfoundland Herald stamp approval. Telegram.
Yeah. Anyways, man, thanks for the information on.
Thanks for stopping
good
by,
old Tony.
buddy.
Always a pleasure, and quite coincidental that you had that North Stars jersey on. That's awesome. You
Yeah,
got to
see
get one
that?
foot on the back of it, man.
Yeah, I gotta rip the Hextall 22 off it. What number did he wear
He wore number
in
Jesus,
Washington on that card you got?
I think I'm trying to pick it out on sleeves. I think it says 23.
23. Oh, geez, that's not bad. I don't even have to get rid of 2 of the numbers, just one of them.
Yeah, man.
All right, man.
Perfect.
Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next week.
No problem. Always a pleasure. See you, boys.
All right, see ya. Hey, folks, thanks for sticking with us through the news and the NHL news for the week. Now we'll get into our top 10 contenders for the Stanley Cup this year. So, Steve, I guess we'll go 10 as the least likely to win the cup and number 1 as the most likely to win the cup.
Yes, on the
in
list.
our
So 10's not a bad spot to be in either.
No, God, no.
No.
That's still fucking 21 spots
Better
better
than
than
Arizona.
So,
Yeah.
Do you have any runners up that's not on your list?
I do. I have 2. Washington and Boston.
Oh,
They never
all
made the
right,
list.
yeah. I just got 1. So if it was 11, I would have had New York Islanders at 11. But I don't have them there. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
Islanders.
go fuck yourself, Islanders fans.
Geez, Philadelphia now Islanders. They're taking a beat, and Columbus. Fuck.
They're gonna hate us.
Well, who's not taking a beat this episode? Steve, who do you got at number 10?
I got the good old Calgary Flames.
Decent.
And there's a
Canadian
reason I
team.
put them here. I got a few notes written down here I'm going to talk about. I said with Sutter behind the bench, Calgary's kind of adapted to a new style of game. Previous coaches, they came in, they had Monahan, Lindholm, Backlund, Gaudreau. They had guys, Kachuk, who were obviously offensively talented, and it never really worked out for them in the long run. But with Sutter, they're kind of playing a new game style. They're playing a little bit more defensive. I wrote down they don't rely on outscoring you. They rely on solid defensive play and great passes up the ice to generate chances on the rush. And that's what they're starting to do. And, it's working for them so far this year. And I think Gaudreau's having a really good year. And the full forward group is playing well. And defensively, losing their captain, I mean, they haven't really missed a beat. They're doing fine with that. Although I wrote down it wouldn't hurt to add some experience at the deadline to shore up that group. Maybe you give up a second round pick if you're in a good position, something like that. And you look to add, because I think any team on this list should be looking to add, because you always want to improve your chances if you're playing so well. And for goaltending, I think they're fine too. I think Markstrom's one of the better goalies in the league. And Dan Vladar, for a goalie who's making $800K or whatever for 2 more years, I mean, he's playing well too. But for a reason why they are 10th and they're not higher would be their consistency. I think the big problem with Calgary has always been their consistency. They don't follow it up long enough to do well. And certainly in the playoffs, they haven't done enough to prove that they're a contender. But I think they're getting there. And I think with this new style of play, I think this is where they're going to succeed. And I can see them going on a run. And that's why they're 10. Sorry for the ramble. That was a little bit long.
No worries, man. I'm not gonna lie and say that I have them on my list, because I don't. But I could see why you make an argument for him. Like, Markstrom is fucking playing lights out this season, most shutouts of any goalie.
A new style of play
far.
too. So
and they got a great first line. Lindholm and Gaudreau's playing really well. Kachuk is up on that line, or is it Mangiapane?
I'm not sure. Mangiapane is a really good forward too.
Yeah, he's really underrated. People didn't give him the credit. He scored a sick goal the other night where he had to stretch out his right foot to stop a puck from going past, and then just snapped it in from one knee, which looked really good.
Yeah.
Their defense is a bit weak. I mean, losing Giordano really hurt them defensively, I think, because now it's, instead of him putting a lot of work on himself, they kind of gotta spare out the minutes a bit more. So it's more of like a team kind of effort to play defense instead of just having a horse back there.
And that's why I said, added experience piece at the deadline. I was referring to a defenseman most likely.
Yeah.
I think it would be a pretty good idea for them to give up a second round pick and get a guy who is like second or third pair defensively and can eat up some penalty kill minutes, stuff like that, right? Especially when it comes playoff time. And like I said, this new coaching style, I think sometimes when you have a team that's been on the edge of being in the playoffs and outside the playoffs I think a new coaching style could really make it go well or really make it go bad. So I think it's a risk, and I think it worked out with Sutter so far.
Yeah, and a lot of people were saying that Gaudreau never really adapted to the coaches in the past and kind of just did whatever he wanted, played his game. And I mean, it worked out sometimes when he got 99 points and they were second in their division or whatever. But but in recent years and hasn't worked out for Calgary. So Sutter's really made Gaudreau buy in. The only person that I think still hasn't bought in all the way is Monahan. He's still kind of doing his own thing out there, and he's losing a lot of ice time because of it. I think he's second line now, and Lindholm has replaced him on the first line.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he buys in, good. But if not, they're still a great team anyway.
Yeah. He's if I look at a guy who could be moved, unfortunately, I think Monahan's a guy who would probably be on his way out next year or two.
See, that's not bad right now because you'd have Backlund that can still play second line, but in the future, then you'd have to go out and find another second line center. And I
They
guess
got Connor Zary. He's a young guy coming up. He's not going to fill that role quickly, but over the course of 4 to 5 years, he could.
that's right. Yeah, maybe then you look to move Monahan, but I don't know. Yeah, he's definitely a piece you could move.
Yeah. Who do you have at 10?
I got Colorado Avalanche, which is probably pretty controversial just because, I don't know, they're probably up there for probably the best odds to win the cup this year, but they've had a bit of bad luck with players out. I mean, McKinnon's been was out at the beginning of the season. Now he's out again. I think they have a great forward core to win the cup, but I think their defense are still a bit young and inexperienced. They got a lot of young pieces like Byram and Cale Makar that really haven't gone far in the playoffs. So, and people obviously like Devon Toews and stuff, and the two Johnsons back there really haven't had a lot of playoff experience. But I don't know. I also think they're lacking a bit in goaltending. They don't have that number one goalie that's usually necessary to win a cup.
Kemper's been on the edge.
Well,
Kemper's been on the edge of playing well and playing bad.
Yeah, but he's really like, I don't know. I can see him getting injured this season too, and then they're gonna have no or goaltending again, like they had a couple of years ago in the playoffs.
When Hutchinson was
I still don't think Francouz is back.
No, he's injured.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. That's not a number one goalie. I think that's necessary to win the cup. But I don't know. I think they got the forward core to do it if McKinnon comes back and starts lighting it up. And that whole first line does a lot better. But yeah, I don't know. They just got a really young team right now, so I think it could still take maybe 2 or 3 years until they start seeing playoff success.
Yeah,
so
I
right
agree with you.
10.
Yeah, they got some players like they got a few older players, but they're losing some guys. They lost Donskoy to Seattle, and they gave up Graves in a trade, I believe, and they gave up Connor Timmins, is another good defenseman. He went to Arizona.
Yeah, but those are two young defensemen. I think you got to bring in a bit of depth to.
Yeah, they do, and they need to sign guys like that. I don't think they did a good enough job of that this summer. I think they could have brought in some better depth than what they did. I guess there's cap restrictions and everything that goes along with it. They had to sign their cap into the big deal, but I think they lost some pieces too, and I don't think they're going to be as highly thought of as last year. So I think you're right when in that regard. And excuse me, I was going to sneeze, but I never. I think goaltenders too. Like, it's a bit risky to have Francouz there and Kemper. I think you need to bring in a guy who can, sub in if somebody's hurt. I don't know who you bring in. Tuukka Rask could be a guy. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
if he's willing to go. If he's willing to go. But I think they just need a little bit more insurance in the net, because you don't want to end up with Michael Hutchinson like you did the other year. Even though he's in the Leafs.
Even worse than that. It was Buddy's name. Jeez.
They got
starts with an M or an H or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Miska.
But yeah, Miska. That's who it was too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they were playing him in the playoffs, and I mean, good for Miska. He's probably a great goalie to make it to that level, but not what you want in Stanley Cup Finals.
No, not the finals. Conference finals.
Just Stanley Cup playoffs. Sorry, in general. Yeah. Who do you have at number 9?
I got the old Minnesota Wild at number 9. Now, this might be a little biased because everybody knows I'm a Wild fan, but I'm going to say it right now. I think the Wild have one of the best defensive games in the league. They give you nothing. They give you nothing in the zone. And the way they transition the puck up the ice too. You come in their zone. If you dump the puck in, they grab it. It's up to the winger. It's out. It's quick as that, man. They draw it up so quick. They do it very efficiently. I think Dean Evanson's a very underlooked coach. I think he should be in the running for Jack Adams because he's that good of a coach, and nobody really talks about him as much as they should. He completely changed his team from being a mediocre team to a somewhat not mediocre team.
An above average team.
They're above average. Is what they are, and they don't need superstars to win a game. They know how to play the greasy way. They can win several different ways. Although enough talking good about them, they're not the best team in the league. They're ninth in my contender list. There are some issues there, and I think the issues is what you would run into in the second or third round of the playoffs when you could possibly meet a team. I know Carolina and Tampa Bay is not in their division, but for an example, I would say, let's say they ran into a team like Carolina, even if it was conference finals, Carolina's going to score on you no matter how good you are defensively. It's just inevitable. So if they don't have enough firepower to counteract the scoring, I think that's where Minnesota loses. I think Kaprizov's really good, and they got Zuccarello and Fiala, but I think they need some center depth. The center depth is so weak there. Eriksson's good center. He's playing first line. He's not a first line center. He's second line center on a good day.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I was going to say, I think they have good winger depth. I think their wingers all the way down are respected and are in the right places. But where it burns me is the center depth because there was a matter of 2 years there where they went from having Stahl, Koivu, even Johansson, and now they just are left with Eriksson and I guess are waiting for Marco Rossi to come up and make his impact on the team. But yeah, I still think they're a bit shaky in their goaltending, which you're probably gonna hate me because you're Cam Talbot, friggin' number one fan. You probably drive the fan bus behind the Minnesota bus when you go to away games. But I think they're still, I don't know, they still don't have a number one. I think they got a good 50-50 or I don't know. I think Kakinen is going to be the number one there in a couple of years. But I do agree with you. I think they're one of the better defensive teams. I think their forwards are great at playing defense, and they probably got one of the best defense cores too in the league.
Yeah, I agree with you in some aspects of that statement. Obviously, I think Cam Talbot's number one goalie. The numbers show it, but that's not.
He's over 920 right now. I think he had one bad game that's really bringing it down.
He's 8-3 so far. So
yeah,
we'll see. He's obviously not on the same level as a Vasilevsky or a Fleury or any of those names, but I think he's a serviceable starting goalie. I think that's a good way to put it for most of the year. But yeah, like you said, he's not going to win you a series by himself.
Yeah, I can't believe he didn't find a start in the league before now. Really, he kind of had his chance there in Edmonton for a while, but I don't know. The fans just hate every single goaltender that comes through Edmonton. So.
Yeah, they're good at doing that.
Yeah.
Anyways, who do you have at 9?
I got the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think they look really good without their star players. I mean, they're missing Crosby, Malkin, Brian Rust. They were missing for a while. Jake Gensel was out with COVID. Jeff Carter's now out. And they still look like a decent team, right? So I don't think they're. I don't know. They're terrible without their bad players, so I can't imagine them being bad when those players come back. The thing is, I love Jari, but I don't know if he's ready to take them to the cup yet. I mean, I guess he was back up for Matt Murray 3 years ago, but or even more than that. I think their defense needs a bit of work. They still got some guys playing defense some nights where I'm I don't even know who this guy is.
Ruhwedel.
Yeah, no, he came from Anaheim. I know Ruhwedel. He's a fucking beauty. But there's a couple players I don't know, just that they're bringing up from the AHL that I've never heard before. It's kind of just they're a bit shaky on their defense. They got a lot of forwards like that too that you don't really hear of, but Pittsburgh has kind of a skill.
They got a good young guy, Drew O'Connor.
Yeah. I never knew him coming up, but he's 23 now, isn't he?
Yeah, Pittsburgh seemed to find these late draft picks that end up being serviceable middle six guys.
Yeah, well, even Gensel, I never heard of Gensel until he started playing.
Yeah, he's a good pick.
Brian Rust, he flew out under the radar. They got a lot of players like that. They just
even Connor Sherry they brought up.
Yeah, kind of sure he's gone now. Where is he to? He's in
Washington.
Buffalo. Washington.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so I don't know. Pittsburgh still got the pieces there to win the cup, and I think they will take a couple more stabs at it before they start tearing it down. But I don't know. That's why they're at 9. They're obviously a cup contender because you never bet against Crosby. But they do have like bad problems with depth, and even when they get out of this like playoff run, they don't have any young prospects coming up. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess that's
think,
not a problem for winning a cup, but
I
they
think
got a
you're
lot
right.
of like they don't have a lot of depth coming up to like feed this system. It kind of ends with like the Crosby generation, I think.
It's gonna die out eventually. I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna once Crosby and them go, they're bottom of the barrel. It's just simple fucking math statistics with any NHL team when you don't draft. I said statistics. I had a stroke when I said that.
That's
Forget
all
I
right.
said that.
Everybody knows what you meant.
It's just inevitable, pretty much, after being good for so long. And I think you're right, exactly everything you said. But I think they're not going to be able to get that depth because they have guys like Matheson signed to like $4.5 million for next 5 years or something. And
I didn't think that was bad when they signed it, but it's getting worse over time.
Yeah, and then you got a guy like
He's
Zucker.
not moving up the depth chart very quick, and he's not looking very offensive either. So it's just not looking good over time.
Yeah, and Zucker signed to like a big deal, like $5.5 million.
And they signed right-handed shot
John
straight out of
Marino.
college. Who?
They got John Marino.
Yeah, Marino. They signed him like after 24 games to a pretty big ticket too.
And they also have Marcus Pettersson signed for like $4.5 million. He's another defense. So they got him a lot of money invested in guys like throughout the lineup, and it seems like they still don't have much depth after investing all that money. So
yeah,
I think they have a good team though, and with the players they have in their top 6, I mean, they could obviously make a run any year.
Yeah, they just got a sneaky team, and I never bet against Pittsburgh.
No, yeah, you're right.
Even with all their star players gone, they still look like they're not in a bad place right now for who they have out. So I don't know. I figured I'd put them at 9. I couldn't really justify putting it any higher than that. So
yeah, I think that's a good place to put them. They were almost there for me. I was really thinking about it, but I was like, I don't see the depth, and that's what kind of got me.
I know.
And injuries too. So I feel like they get injured so easy, so they could get
Yeah,
into
it
the
seems like
playoffs.
they always have players out, man. It's weird.
Yeah,
I don't know. Malkin was never really like an 82 game player, and neither was Crosby. So as they get older now,
Malkin's not a 40
always
game
injured,
player.
man. What?
Malkin's not a 40 game player, man. He's like a
I don't
28
know.
game player.
But he's had some full seasons, but I don't know.
Yeah. They'll do all right. I think you're correct in putting him in that place on your list.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yep.
Only time will tell. Who do you have at 8?
I got Colorado. Team you had. I don't think they're as good as last year, and it's kind of what you said. I still think they have a deep enough team for a run. I like their depth in some areas, but if they have to hold on and win some series, I think it just lies on McKinnon and the top guys. And I think eventually, like, they had to carry the team because I think their team's too young, and I don't think they have the best depth in the league to be able to win a series if the top guys aren't hot. And the goaltending, like you said, is a bit suspect. Like, you don't know if it's gonna hold up, and if there's an injury there, it could be like the fucking wheels could fall off the bus.
Yeah,
So,
one injury could honestly take this team out from underneath their legs.
yeah. So I don't really have much to add to what you said, other than, well, I don't have anything to add. I'm pretty much the same results there. So I don't know if you have anything else to say on the Avalanche at 8. Not really, or
No, a good spot for them. I mean, the difference between 10 and 8 is literally like 2 or 3 wins in April or March. So
yeah,
it's really a toss up at this point anyway.
yeah.
But yeah, they're definitely gonna make a stab at a cup run. They're not doing too hot now. I think they're 25th or something in the overall standing. So not bad. But they've also, a lot of teams have had games on them, and they haven't been playing with their best player for a lot of games. So
Yeah, they'll figure it out
for sure.
Who do you have?
At number 8, I got the Washington Capitals. Ovi's gonna single-handedly bring them to the promised land. They have 2 solid goalies in Vanacek and in Samsonov, so there's not a problem back there. I think if they split that 50-50 and just play the hot goalie, I think they'll do all right. Their defensive core is not bad. I mean, they've got some great pieces on the top end, like Orlov and Carlson, but then it really gets weak when you get down to the bottom 6.
Don't they have Nick Jensen?
Yeah, they have Nick Jensen. Yeah, I think he scored the other night, man. He came over from Detroit.
Yeah.
I like Nick Jensen. I was happy. I was sad to see him leave. Sorry, but happy to see he's doing good over there.
Mhm.
They have a lethal power play and a great top 6 forwards. Too bad Anthony Manta's out, but he should be back maybe in time for playoffs. I mean, he just undergone shoulder surgery, so he's going to be out for a while. But maybe comes back from playoffs and helps out the top 6 a bit. Their depth is all right. They got a really defensively centered team around like Lars Eller and the rest of their bottom 6.
I think Lars Eller is underrated. I think he's actually a great forward.
He plays on the power play, doesn't he? With Ovi, he just feeds Ovi.
I'm not sure if he does.
Maybe that was a 5-on-5 goal I've seen. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, and then they're playing without Nick Backstrom too. So Backstrom's going to come in and play that second line. Kuznetsov proven that he's a first liner. Tom Wilson's there just to fuck shit up. That's pretty much all he's there for.
And his contract, his job title is like, you're not a forward, you just fuck shit up. That's what they wrote down on the paper.
Like, don't touch the puck, dump and chase, and then injure as many people as possible in his contract. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I think their forwards can do it. Their defense are a bit weak when it gets past like the third defenseman, and they got 2 solid goalies. So I think putting them at 8 is pretty fair. I know a lot of people got them probably higher than this, and some people might even have them off the list.
Yeah, well, I don't have them on my list. They were honorable mention.
Yeah.
I think.
What do you have against Washington, or what do you?
I don't have much against them. I just don't think they add. They don't add, and I think they sit in the same position every year. I don't know if it's a cap problem, or if it's they don't have the pieces to get what they want. I just don't think that they don't make enough good positive changes every year. I mean, you got to bring in some players who are going to push you over the hump. I think.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake trading away Verana for Mantha. I love Mantha in Detroit. He was one of my favorite players when he was there, but he wasn't the quickest. He just had an unreal shot, and I think Jakub Vrana is just a speedier and smarter player.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's a little bit better player than Mantha.
Mantha is kind of like an oversized and way more like offensively talented Wilson. Like, I don't know, they kind of.
He's like a little bit better than Nick Ritchie. Big mammal.
He's Nick Ritchie's bigger brother.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think they need to add. I think they need to find a way to bring in something, man, just to spark the team to go on a run. I think it's been the same team. Like, I bet you if you looked at Washington's roster the last couple of years, it's like, what the fuck is different here?
The core's been the exact same except the minus of Holtby.
Yeah, I want to see him make a move. I want to see him do something to, push him over the hump again. And because I think if they added, like, let's say, I know cap and everything and whatnot, but if they found a way in the world to add a guy like Tarasenko, something like that.
Well, you know what? If you put Anthony Mantha on long-term IR, you could free up a lot of cap. I think he makes like 6 or 7 million.
Yeah, just like I think they need to find a way to boost the team and make the team feel like we're adding players because we want to win. Like I think it's just a bit stale.
I don't think that's the play though, because I think Tarasenko is just like a watered down Ovi. They kind of do the same role.
Yeah, I know. I just used an example.
A bit better, but
I'm not really sure who to say. It was just an example, but I think they need to just boost the team up and say, look, here we're trying to win. Like we added these guys. Like let's give it our all. Just a little bit of a, it's getting a bit stale in Washington. I think that's the reason that I never had them on my list.
Yeah, no, I can see that they don't really shake things up. I think they're a bit smart for that though, because they know what works. They've been consistently making the playoffs since like 2012. So I think they found their winning formula. It's just Backstrom plus Ovi plus Carlson, and then like decent goaltending. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
But
you're right
yeah,
about that.
so if it ain't
a few
broke, don't
things.
fix it, I think is their motto. But yeah. And they tried to shake things up, bringing up Mantha. But
Yeah,
he's out again now. So
yeah, that's true.
when they get Backstrom back, I think they'll be a bit better
Yeah, I think they're doing fine anyways. Honestly, I think
for sure.
Ovi's playing like he's fucking 24.
Oh, he's playing like he's never won a cup. He wants another one real bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who do you got at 7?
I got the Oilers at 7.
Nice.
I wrote down I think Edmonton is the best team offensively in the league. I don't think anybody matches. They got the number 1 power play in the league.
You
I
can't.
I
You
don't
can't
think
do better than Edmonton.
I don't think any team can outscore them, but I think there's teams that can stop them in the playoffs. I don't think they're not as effective offensively in the playoffs. It's a completely different game. I think their defensive core is fine, but I don't think it's good enough to win. I think their goaltending is not near the level it needs to be. I know Koskinen's playing well. It's just a streak. Let's be honest. Over the years, he hasn't shown himself to be a good enough goalie to bring a team to the finals. And with Mike Smith only playing a handful of games this year because of an injury,
Yeah.
it's evident they need to add a goalie. And I think they need to upgrade their defense if they want to win a cup. I think bringing in a guy like Duncan Keith's just not going to put you over the hump defensively. Like, he's not even that good of a defensive defenseman anymore. He just makes too many mistakes. I think you need to bring in a guy who resembles the play style of a Colton Parayko, somebody like that. Not that player necessarily, because he's obviously not leaving, but somebody, Jacob Slavin, one of those guys. That you need a guy who's going to sit back, he's going to slow the game down, and then make great plays. Because
Yeah, I
they
think
don't
you'd
have
lose too much value bringing in those guys. I think their value is pretty high. So
Yeah, I'm talking about a guy who can play that similar style, right? Even who plays like a Josh Morse, somebody who can just sit back. I know Darnell Nurse is good. I know they got some good defensemen, but I think they need a little bit more. Who was the guy inducted into the Hall of Fame from Edmonton
Kevin
last
Lowe.
week? Kevin Lowe. Perfect example, man. 6 Stanley Cups. The hot pick was Paul Coffey because he was getting the points. He was playing that style, but they also had Kevin Lowe, man. I mean, he was the guy who just sat back and made the great plays. I think Edmonton needs that if they want to win, and I think they need better goaltending. And they can't outscore in the playoffs. They can't outscore teams in the playoffs. Not going to work.
They're just too tired, man, because their 2 best players are putting up fucking 4 points every night in the regular season, trying to go break records. So
although I
by
do
the
like
time
their forward depth.
comes.
I do like their forward depth. I think they made really good strides in that direction this year with their forward depth.
I don't mind it. I think it could be better, but you can't complain when you're paying like Draisaitl and McDavid that kind of money. You got to take some hits somewhere. You can't
Fogel's
have a great
been a good
team
ad.
everywhere. Oh yeah, that's right. Fogel's doing all right.
And you got guys like Nuge, and then you got Yamamoto, and who do they have in their bottom 6, man?
Boucher Harvey, they got Hyman. That rounds out the top 6.
Yeah,
and
I
then
think
you got I think they're kind of counting on that Ty Ratty guy to come in and be a force, but I think he's still in the AHL. They got
Ryan McLeod.
Yeah, they got him. They got
I think they got some good depth there. I do.
I think they got good depth coming, but
they got Derek Ryan. He wins a lot of faceoffs.
Yeah, he does. A good faceoff guy.
Yeah, so
I
think they're fine Calgary, offensively. Yeah, they don't need anybody else up front. I think they need to focus on maybe getting a defenseman and a goaltender deadline. And then if they do that, I mean, it's McDavid. He could win a cup.
They already tried, though. They traded away fucking Taylor Hall for Adam Larson. They've tried
Jesus Christ, man. That was Chiarelli. That was Chiarelli, man. They got Broberg and Bouchard, and they're the future. But the thing is, they're the future. They're not right now. McDavid wants to win now.
So, I would say.
Yeah, that's my 7. Do you have anything to add to Edmonton?
I'll get to Edmonton a bit later.
All right. Well, who's on 7 for you?
I got Boston Bruins at number 7 for me. I think they got the best line in hockey right now with Pasta, Bergeron, and Marchand. I think what they're missing right now is a second line center. It's the same thing they were missing in the preseason. I mean, to go deep in the playoffs, you need that 1-2 punch. You need like a great guy for offense, and then like a guy that can still put up points, but can also play defensively. I think their decor is decent. I mean, I like their top pairing with McAvoy and I can't remember, but but I think they do still need to work on their defensive core. They're like their 5th and 6th defenseman. I
Do they
don't
have
think
Carlo on that top line?
It might be Carlo. Jeez, I hate to do this. I got the all the rosters wrote down here. Yeah, so on the top line of Boston is they got Forbert and McAvoy. So I know I thought that was better. So yeah, they got Forbert, they got Mike Riley, they got Grizzlick and Clifton. So that's their 2 to 6 defensemen. So except for McAvoy and Carlo are the only really, and Grizzlick, I guess, on the third pairing are the only ones that I would consider like
They need
serviceable
to
and, like,
upgrade their D. Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
100%. And their goaltending's not the best. They got Swayman and Ulmark. So I definitely think they could. I don't know. Yeah, because we were talking earlier. Like, I don't know which one of those you'd send down or trade out or replace in any way. So they might have to just stick it out that like that. But yeah, I don't know. Not the best defensive depth and not a number 1 starter. And they need a second line center. So there's a lot of pieces missing. But if they can fill even one of those spots, preferably a second line center, I think they can make a deep push this year.
I just don't think they're as big a threat as what they used to be anymore.
Definitely not what they used to be, because they used to have like Krug and Chara on the back end.
Yeah, they're
right?
not as big as a threat as they used to be. I think it's simple as that. They lost some pieces and they never brought back good enough pieces to make up for it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, they're still clipping at a decent pace this year. I think that that first line in Boston is just lethal. So I think that single-handedly, I think if Hall starts chipping on a more offense, their forward depth is all right. I don't mind their forward depth. There's good defensive players in there, but I think it's just their defense. I think if they brought in a player like you were saying, bringing in to Edmonton, I think they could go pretty far.
Yeah, I don't know who that player would be for these teams, but that's not our job. That's the GM's job.
Exactly.
Figure it the fuck out.
All good. What else do I have here? Yeah, one of their goalies just got to catch some steam. If Swayman or Ulmer can get on a hot streak and just really like turn it on, I think they'll definitely make the playoffs and might even go a bit farther than people give them credit for. I think they do need to bring someone in on the deadline though, if they want to make this push. So they kind of got a decision to make. They're at a fork in the road. They could either say, "Oh, this isn't our year. We'll take a step back and then rebuild for next year," or just build it back up next year, or they can go flat out and just say, "Fuck it, let's try to win another cup."
Yeah, I think they need to find a way to add some more pieces. Like you said, I don't think they have enough. So
yeah, I don't think they're ready, and that's why they're not in the top 5. I think everybody in my top 5 is ready to win. Everybody 6 to 10, I think, needs to either add something or turn it on.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Who do you got at 6?
I had the team that I actually picked to win the Stanley Cup. I know it's not. This is not a list who I think is going to win the cup. It's just contenders. So I think they can still win a cup at 6, and that's Toronto Maple Leafs. That's a fucking joke. Somebody's gonna quote me on that, and I'm gonna look stupid. But
they're in there for me too, man. They're still coming on this for me.
How do they not contend? I mean, with players like that, you should, once they break that hump. I have wrote down here, once they break round 1, they're gone flying. I think once they finally break that fucking seal, man, that's just been keeping them in round 1 year after year after year after year after year. Once they finally get through that, man, and they win that game 6, they win that game 7, whatever it takes, even if they swept somebody in 4 games. I think once they move past that first round, I think they're gone flying. I think it's going to be straight to the fucking finals. I think the momentum and the buzz that's going to be in Toronto is just going to like push them over the edge. I think Campbell's going to play red hot. And I like their forward group because, they do pay guys a lot of money, but, right now, slow start to the year, they're picking it up. They're scoring. I mean, they're winning a lot. Lately, they're starting to go on a few streaks. And what else do I have here? I like the goaltending. I like Campbell. I like Mrazek. The only thing is Mrazek's health. Like, he needs to be healthy. If he's on the edge of being injured, time trade deadline, I would like to see him go out and acquire some depth there. And I'd like to see him add an experienced defenseman at the deadline too, to probably kill some big penalties in the playoffs. Somebody like Zach Bogosian did from last year. A guy like that. He left, obviously went back to Tampa, but Bogosian played really well. Like he played some big minutes there, some tough minutes for Toronto when they needed him. So maybe they find a guy like that at the deadline for like a 4th round pick and like a shitty prospect or something. And that's all I had to say. At least we're going to win cup. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know. As much as people shit on the defense, look on paper it doesn't look bad, but I don't know. They just can't. They can't get it done. It's not bad on paper though. I don't mind it. I don't mind their forward depth this year either. I think Mikheyev is still injured, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So once he comes back, he'll fill a role probably in that top 6. Bunting, I don't think's lived up to the expectations he had coming from Arizona.
He's playing well, man.
Nick Ritchie was pegged in on the first line.
Oh, he's fucking garbage.
I think they were right to send him down to the 4th, hopefully.
I don't like Nick Ritchie. I don't like him. I think he was a bad ad. Honestly, he's too slow to play that style of game they play.
Yeah, exactly. They're a running gun team, so he doesn't fit in this at all. I think Simmons and Spezza are good on the bottom 6. I like that. Who's Liljegren is up now playing?
Yeah, Liljegren's been probably one of their most steady defensemen in the last 8 or 9 games.
Good, man. He's really tall and just, I don't know, smooth out there. So.
He's not getting the points, but he's making the great plays. He's not making any mistakes. And, that's the difference between keeping him in the lineup and scratching him. He doesn't make the mistakes.
That's what you need to do as an NHL defenseman. Who cares if you get all these points if you don't make mistakes and give the team a better chance at winning and keep pucks out of your own zone? You're going to stay around for a long time.
Yeah, so he's doing that, and I think this is finally his year where he carves out an NHL role. And I think he pushes Dermott out, actually.
Yeah, if they can make him, available for trade and get something back, that would be decent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, anyways, that's my number 6. Who do you have?
Yeah, I'll touch on Toronto a bit later because pointing at that I might happen later on. I got Edmonton, so your 6, your 7 is my 6.
Okay.
Best 1-2 center punch in the league. I don't think anybody's going to argue that, and I'd even make the argument that it's the best in the last 35 years, since Gretzky and Messier. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know who's been better in the last 35 years than
Malkin and Crosby.
That's true. Yeah, you might have me. You might have me fucking handcuffed already. But I'm still going to make the argument. I don't think. I mean, Crosby and Malkin do good when one is out. I mean, one lights it up and they're really clutch on their own. But I don't know. Leon and Connor just work so well together. And where Draisaitl lacks in speed, Connor McDavid has it. Where McDavid lacks in one-timers and a powerful shot and net front presence. Leon Draisaitl got it. So I think they're perfectly complementary. So in my mind, the best 1-2 punch in the last 35 years. Their defense is well balanced. I mean, it could be better, obviously. I don't think you have to bring in a piece because you got Nurse and Barry. So if you bring in another piece, you're kind of pushing either, unless you pick up I don't know, I don't know. I don't even know.
Esa Lindell from Dallas.
They won't trade him. He's in their top 2. He's on the same line with Heiskanen. So
they'll get him for a 4th rounder probably.
You'd have to trade away one of your A prospects on.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't think their depth is bad at all this year. I think this is one of the better years that they've had forward depth. They brought in guys like Hyman, Fogle, like you said. Yamamoto's not playing the best. Pulja Harvey's turning it on. Derek Ryan wins faceoffs. Ryan McLeod's in now, and he's doing all right. Nurse and Barry are your cornerstones on defense, and then after that it gets a bit weak. Cody Cece's actually been surprising me a bit. I don't think Cece's playing bad.
I forgot he existed.
He was shitting Toronto and he was shitting Ottawa, but he's not playing bad on this Ottawa team.
He played in Pittsburgh too for a year.
Did he?
Yeah. After Toronto, he went to Pittsburgh.
I forgot he was alive too until this season. I actually see him on the box scores a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Broberg, when he comes in, this defense is going to look a lot better with Bouchard and Broberg, for sure. The one hit I don't think their forward or defense is bad at all. I think their one hit is their goaltending though. I think they desperately need a number one, or at least someone that can come in and play 75% of games, and then either Smith or Koskinen take over the last 25.
I
don't
thought
know.
they were going to sign Holtby this offseason.
That would have been a bad thing because they play a similar game to Washington, I guess, less defensive, but the same kind of offensive game. And they're obviously just take advantage of power plays a lot like Washington. So that could have worked. I could have seen, but I don't know. I don't know who you'd have to bring in, but they're going to be looking for one at the deadline. I know that if they want to win the cup this year.
Yeah.
They got Stuart Skinner
got to.
in the minors right now, and he plays a bit.
He's not good enough to back up a team yet.
No, he doesn't look ready yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my 2 cents on the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, and I already gave my 2 cents, so we'll move on.
For sure. Did we talk about 5 yet?
No.
Yeah, it's your 5 right now.
St. Louis. I
Not bad.
I have them right in the middle. I don't think they're the most complete team, but I think they have a smart and defensive team. I think they're good at defense. I think they're good at offense. I'd like to see them add a really good backup option in net because their backup is Ville Husso right now.
He's good. I don't mind him.
He's good, but I don't think I'd like to see a solid veteran there.
Well, when you get in the playoffs, you're usually only playing one goalie anyway.
Yeah, depends on injuries too, right? That's the only thing I look at.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd much rather go into the playoffs with a goaltender who has playoff experience as my backup rather than somebody who's only played 20 or 30 NHL games. Anyways, because that could ruin your season, man. That's why I look at that. And I don't think they're complete, but I think they're good in enough areas to, some nights are better offensively than defensively. Some nights are better defensively than offensively. I think they fluctuate in that sense. And I think they have great leadership and some underrated scorers in David Perron and, James Neal's there too now. I mean, he's no superstar, but I mean, they're getting their money's worth from Neal, I guess. And,
I don't know how you couldn't. He's only getting 700,000.
Yeah. So, they're finding ways to stay relevant and stay in the hunt. So I think at 5, I think that's a reasonable spot because they could go on a run any year. It's just one of those teams. But I don't really have much notes on them, so I just think they're a competitive team.
I don't have them on my list just because I don't know. They're a bit Jordan Kyrou and Robert Thomas haven't formed into the second line center that they need to be yet. So they're really only just running with Ryan O'Reilly at the first line. He's probably one of the better first line centers in the league for offensive and defensive. I don't know a better one I don't know a better two-way center. Well, obviously I do like Bergeron and them, but you know what I mean.
He's good.
He's just a great two-way player. The fact that I didn't know that. I thought Tarasenko wanted to stay around, but Tarasenko still wants to leave, which kind of sucks. Schwartz has gone to Seattle. Perron is good. He started hot, but he's starting to slow down now. I think Husso's a good backup. And I think St. Louis is one of the better defensive teams in the league. So I could see having them at 5. I didn't have them on my list, like I said, just because I've seen some teams a bit over them, but they're doing good right now, and they could definitely get in there. But I don't see them really as a team that goes far. I think they're over. I think they're past their prime now. I think their chance to win it was 2014, and then they surprisingly won it in 2019. So I don't think they get back to that.
Yeah, well, time will tell, I guess.
Yeah.
Who do you have?
I had your Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, let's hear why.
At number 5. I think they got probably one of the best top 6 forwards in the league. I think when Mikheyev comes back, it'll only add to that. They got to get, I don't know, bunting out of the top 6 and let him just fuck around on the bottom 6 for a while.
Fuck, man, he's not that bad. He scored last night, sure.
I don't think he's top 6 though, man. Not on that team. He could be top 6 on Arizona.
He's complimentary. Okay. Is what he's got a few points, man.
All right, still early in the season. I don't mind Toronto's depth. Like I was saying earlier, I like Spezza, I like Simmons.
I like Kerfoot. I think Kerfoot's really good.
Kerfoot's a good penalty killer.
Yeah.
He's probably a trading asset they're looking at moving. I hope they don't because I like Kerfoot.
He's got 10 points in 15 games.
Wow, I didn't know that. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think their young defenseman got to pick it up. I think Liljegren and Sandin is a good pairing on the 6,
Mhm.
on the third line. Sorry. But yeah, I think they just got to come up and prove that they want their spot and just play better than Dermott and Justin Hall. And then
Yeah.
I don't mind Toronto's team. You pretty much said it all. I think Jack Campbell looks sick. I thought Mrazek was going to be the starter, but Jack Campbell is obviously the starter on this team. So hopefully he can stay healthy and stay motivated for a whole 82 games, and they'll definitely get into the playoffs. And I hope they make a deep run. You said earlier, like, what if like Toronto sweeps a team? Like, if Toronto sweeps a team in the 4th round or in the 1st round, I think they'll just have a parade, and then they'll like focus on like getting a Stanley Cup parade later if they even get that far. But I think that would be like the biggest celebration in Toronto since the Raptors won.
Since the Raptors won, yeah.
Yeah.
Even bigger than that. It'd probably be bigger. It would be bigger than the
honestly,
Raptors.
probably bigger.
If they win, if they swept the team, imagine if they had to play a team like Tampa Bay in the 1st round or something. If they're like 2 and 3 in Atlantic, if it was like 2 and 3 in Atlantic and they played Tampa Bay and they had home ice or something like.
Imagine they swept Boston. I'd say that'd be even better.
Oh my God, man!
I don't know. Everybody would remember 2013, and they'd just like, "Fuck you, Boston."
I wouldn't want to know how many beers they'd have served out in the bars in downtown Toronto after that night.
That would be a nightmare. I'd say there'd be a riot. There'd be fires in the street, police cars upside down, women and children would be locked in the house. It'd be fucking. It'd be a riot, man.
You're right.
Yeah, so that's who I got at 5. I think we said enough on Toronto. Or do you got anything to add?
No, they're gonna win cup.
Perfect. You heard it here, guys. Fucking, they're gonna sweep Boston in the 1st round, then win the cup.
Exactly.
Who's at number 4 for you?
Number 4 for me is a good old Florida Panthers.
Decent.
I think that they're onto something here. I think they've got a lot of depth, and it seems like they're doing fine without Quenneville. I think their team's fairly complete. I don't like the $10 million in the net there with Bobrovsky, but I mean, that's done with. I think Mackenzie Weegar is a very good defenseman. I think he's very good at getting the puck up the ice. You know, he knows the game well. He plays well. Ekblad is probably in Norris talks. I think that'd be fair. I mean, I know he doesn't score points like some other defensemen, but he gets his fair share of points, and he plays on the top power play there, and he's very effective. And I think the goaltending is good. I don't think Bobrovsky is as bad as people shit on him for. I think he's actually a really good goaltender. I mean, he has
He's doing sick this year.
Yeah,
he's doing amazing this year.
He had a tough start in Florida, but I mean, he's figuring it out. And I think the cherry on top for that team is the fucking guys like Bennett and Reinhart who come in and fit, and Duclair, and they fit so perfectly.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Duclair's got like almost 10 goals, I think.
For Toronto and everything, they have so many talented players on that team. It's almost too many. Like, you know, they're going to lose some next year when cap problems come into it.
Yeah.
So insane group.
Well, they're in the same place as Tampa Bay now. They're just they're rearing up and getting all these guys ready for a couple of years of playoffs. So
yeah,
I mean, they'll get in the same thing. Tampa Bay did the same thing. They brought in pieces that fit, and then when their young guys are ready to come up and get paid, you either got to trade them or trade some pieces that fit to keep them. So they're in Tampa Bay's little cycle now. So
yeah, that's all I really had to say. I think they're just going to contend for the cup, and I think they haven't got out of the 1st round in a long time either. So it's going to be a big celebration for Florida fans when that happens.
Toronto and Panthers play in the 1st round. That would
I would actually love that, man. I'd be afraid of the outcome, but I would love it.
I think I'd be happy either way. I want to see Panthers do good, and I want to see Toronto do good. So, I'd be happy with either outcome.
That's good, buddy.
Yep.
Let's hear who you have.
I have Tampa Bay. So I guess we're kind of going the Battle of Florida here.
Yeah.
They look really tired this season. I'd have them a lot higher than 4 because obviously they deserve it, being the reigning Stanley Cup champions. They just look so tired this season. I mean, they can't get on a win streak. Kucherov out is really hurting for them. But I guess that makes guys like Killorn and Palat just give them more time. I don't know why everybody's shitting on the depth. I mean, you can't replace the depth they had last year because that was like that was an unreal like fourth line they had, and they did lose. Buddy, that went to Kraken.
Blackwell.
No,
wait, that's New York
Yanni
Rangers.
Gourde.
What the fuck am I thinking? Yanni Gourde, yes. Yes.
Yeah. So you can't replace those guys, but I mean, they did a pretty good job bringing in Perry, bringing in Bellemare, and I don't know. Ross Colton is looking good this year. Matthew Joseph is looking good this year. So yeah, you can't really complain with the depth or the top six that they got in forward. And I think their defense is pretty stacked too. Like Hedman, Sergachev, McDonough. Then you got guys like, I don't know, Cernak and Suitster that are decent. What else I got here? Vasi needs, I don't know, some help there because he's obviously looking tired. He's not playing as well as he did last year. I guess you got Elliott there to back him up, but I think he just needs more games off until you get the playoffs, and then you can really just start abusing Vasilevsky, throwing him in there every single game.
I forgot Elliott was still alive, man. He's fucking old. Holy shit.
Brian Elliott, he's made his way around the league.
He's just hanging on to the NHL by one fucking, like, this is the last finger, him hanging on to his
he's
NHL
there
career.
holding on to a bridge, and it's his two pinkies, and he's like, please get me Stanley Cup, please. So I don't have any complaints with this, but they just need the pressure taken off their big guys until they get in playoffs. So start giving Elliott more starts to give Vasilevsky more rest so he can do sick in the playoffs. Kucherov will come back around playoffs probably in January or February and get in a nice groove. But until then, you've just got to give your big guys more rest and let them just kind of cruise until they get in the playoffs, because it's hard playing that many games over the last 2 years, right? So
yeah, you're right.
But that's tough. I got him at 4 for those reasons.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna talk about him a little bit later, I think.
All right, Steve. Who's your number 3?
At the good old Carolina Hurricanes at number 3. I think they're really close to winning. And I think the thing that makes Carolina special is that it starts from their coaching primarily. Rod Brind'Amour.
I had the same thing.
He's an example of hard work. And I think it rubs off on the group really well. I mean, when you have a coach who's in better shape than you, it really shows you, like, this guy, like, fucking knows what it takes. We got to listen to this guy. This guy's just not going on with nonsense. He played a long NHL career. He's in shape. He's not some overweight dude who just sits down and cashes fucking big old coaching checks. I mean, this guy knows. He knows the game. He knows what it takes. And he won a cup. And, what better coach could you have be on the bench? And as for the team goes, I think they have everything they need to win. If I were to add anything, I'd probably add some depth defensemen. Even though they do have a great defensive core, like, I don't see reason to add anything. I don't know if there's holes in the lineup at all. Really, I think
I wouldn't add a thing, man.
I wouldn't, and that's what I said. I said I don't think they're in a rush to add anything. I just think they have to push through with the group they have, and they got to hope it works out. And I think it'll work out eventually. I think they're going to win a cup within the next 2 to 3 years. I don't know about yourself, but I think they have what it takes. Kotkaniemi is a good ad. I know he's not getting the points to justify the contract, but he's still got a lot of upside there, and they like their Finns in Carolina.
Sure do.
Yeah, and then they're playing well for him. Aho is one of the best forwards in the league. He's probably top 15.
Yeah, I'd say he's top 10 centers for sure.
Yeah,
or he's really good. Probably even higher than that.
He's a really good player. I think they got it all. I'm just, I kind of started the season. I picked him to miss the playoffs too.
I can't believe that. I had him number 1 in the Metro. I can't believe you.
We had differing opinions, and you're right. I thought the change of goaltending was and the change of defenseman was gonna.
I mean, yeah, you kind of had me second guessing myself when you're talking about the change in goaltending. Like, I don't think that's ever been done either. Just take out 2 goalies you ran with last year and bring in 2 totally different ones.
Yeah. I'd question that, but I mean, Freddie Anderson's making me look like a fucking dumbass. So, we'll see what happens. Do you have anything to say about the old Caniacs?
I'll talk about them a little bit later.
Okay. Who did you have at number 3 then?
I had the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
They're, I don't know, not doing great right now, but I think a lot of that is due to injury. I literally have right here, like, they might as well be a walking hospital right now because like they got Mark Stone just came back, but Pacioretty, Jack Eichel, and William Karlsson are all out of the top 6, which I don't know, pretty much fucks them because Chandler Stevenson's is still playing first line.
Yeah.
Marchessault and Smith is up there. They just lost Tuck in the Eichel trade, but I think it is worth it. And they also lost Peyton Krebs, which was playing a little bit of like fourth line time for him, just in and out of the lineup. But considering all that, I think all those players are going to come back and be better than they were before. And I don't know, Vegas in January is going to be a scary team to play. Robin Lehner too is starting to catch his stride, and he's stringing together a nice few really good games.
Yeah, he's not the reason they're losing.
I think he had like 43 shots last night. I think he let in like 3 goals.
He's not the reason they're struggling.
No, God, far from it, man. I'd say he's the only reason keeping them competitive.
Yeah.
I think their defense is good. I think Pietrangelo is a bit overrated. I'd probably put maybe Theodore above him in the lineup. But saying that, he still eats a ton of minutes, so he's good. He's still good. I think they do have one of the better defensive cores in the league. Martinez, Pietrangelo, Theodore, McNabb, Haig, and Whitecloud. They just signed Whitecloud, so obviously expecting some good things from him. And I don't mind their depth either. They've got depth scoring like Danonov, Clayton, or Kolazar, Azare, Waugh, or is it Waugh or Roy? Nick Roy?
I think it's Waugh. Nick Waugh, I think.
I think it's Nick Waugh too. Puts up a bit of points. Hopefully Nolan Patrick can start putting the puck in the net. Yeah. I think this team, I mean, you start making that like cup run right after New Year's. And I think this team after New Year's is probably the scariest team in the league. Where like, I don't know, Tampa Bay, Florida, Carolina, they've got other players and they're going to be beat. These guys are going to be fresh and they're going to be ready to win a cup in the later half of the season.
Yeah, you make some great points there. And actually, I didn't even have them on my list.
I mean, well, right now they're playing dog shit right now.
I know but I know they're gonna get better. Obviously, with those additions, I just I think it's more so I don't want to see them win because they traded Fleury. I'm kind of a bit salty about that still. I haven't got over that.
No, me too. I'm happy they didn't disrespect Lehner too. Imagine I don't think they could if they got rid of Lehner, then they would have been fucked in like 2 years when Marc-Andre Fleury hung them up. So
yeah. So I thought it's cap situation really. That's what it comes down to. I mean, if they never got rid of Fleury, they would have never been able to add Eichel either. So
that's right. Yeah.
Tough decisions, I guess. I think the way they went about it was the issue, though. But,
I don't know. I don't know. Transparency is usually the best way to go in this day and age. I mean, this isn't old time hockey when the players were just assets. Like in every business, like your employees are people. You know, you got to treat them the same as you would your own family, really, to make everything gel properly.
Yeah, but you did make some good points about their group, and you know, when they do come back and they get every player there in the fold, they got a lot of dangerous players who can score a lot of big goals.
Yeah, they're going to be scary, man. But right now, they are struggling with injuries. So,
yeah, you're right.
Hopefully, they can run around. Who do you got at 2?
I got the old Winnipeg Jets at number 2.
Wow.
I think they're the most complete team in the NHL right now. What do you think of that?
I'd have an easy time arguing with you on that. I think they're. I don't think they're very complete at all.
I think they got a really good team. I love their lineup from the top to the bottom. I think the thing that worries me about them is defense. I think they need to add a right shot defenseman, a good right shot defenseman, and that's why I suggest PK Subban.
Yeah.
I love their goaltending. I know Hellebuck's not having a great year so far, but it's only early. I mean, he's going to get hot. He's just one of the better goalies in the league.
I think so too.
He'll
I'd say
he'll
he's
do
second.
fine. Yeah, and I think Scheifele and Dubois and Stastny,
Yeah, that is pretty sick.
the middle three
Stastny
centers.
was a shaky second line center, but having him at the third line is sick.
You know, you got those three centers. I mean, teams' offense runs through the middle, and you have guys. Dubois having a good year.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about
I think he's up
Scheifele's
to 11
year,
goals.
honestly. Yeah, and you know, if you have those kind of players in the middle, like running that, I mean, you've got some talent, and Ehlers is really good. Like he's a really talented player. Then you got Connor. So you got players on different lines that can complement each other. You got a guy like Andrew Kopp who's like starting to score some goals and find his offensive talents. And then you got a guy who's a lower in the line of Adam Lowry. He's like a fucking truck, man. He's massive. He hits.
Yeah,
I think they got a bit of everything.
He can fight too, man.
Yeah. Then you look to the blue line. You got Neil Pionk. He's a very serviceable defenseman. He came back in that Jacob Trouba trade, and he signed a pretty decent ticket this summer, I think. You know, he makes good passes. He's good transition game. Then you got Morrissey, their best defenseman.
I think so too, yeah.
There's no arguing that. He plays well offensively and defensively. He's not a big point scorer, but he can make some good passes every now and then. You got a guy like Nate Schmidt who came from Vancouver. He was a real big help on that blue line, I think. Really made it easy for them to put him in there and slot him in there. And I'm not really sure the rest of their blue line, but I still believe that they could add like a right shot guy. Like I wouldn't hurt. I think I wouldn't add to their forwards because they have so many talented forwards. You're not going to put more cap space up there when you need it in the back. Logan Stanley, another guy as well. He's massive. He's 6'7".
No, he's huge.
Plays on that blue line. Dylan DeMello, Vinny Hilola, Brendan Dillon. I think this team's complete, man. I know we don't see eye to eye on this, but I'm a real big fan of this group. I'd like to see Vesalainen step it up a bit, probably.
Yeah, for sure he needs to. He's been well touted for a while now. Or hardly touted, sorry, for a while.
Other than that, I think this team will try for the cup, and I think they're going to be all right. I think they might have a chance.
Yeah, see, I like their forward core. Their forward is pretty complete, top to bottom. I like it. I think they got great centers. Even their wings are great. I wish Perfetti could step into the lineup and start producing a bit more. But I mean, some players take a while, especially trying to transition from CHL to NHL isn't always the easiest thing to do. Just their defense falls off. They don't have a superstar here. Morrissey, I'd say, is a good defenseman, but you definitely need I don't know. He might grow into that role, but he's not a top 2 defenseman right now. He's probably top 4 on any team, though. Nate Schmidt is good from Vancouver. I think he's underrated. He doesn't get the respect he deserves. And Neil Pionk, I think those 3 defensemen are great. You don't move any one of those. But I think Dylan, Stanley, and DeMello really aren't. I don't know. I don't think they're.
Stanley's young. That's why I'm a little bit more lenient with him.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade Stanley because he's young and he's big. But DeMello and Dylan, I don't think are you base your defensive core around. I don't watch them play very often, so I don't know if they're like defensively responsible or what they bring to the offensive game. But I don't know. I think you need one more defenseman in there, probably. Like you said, a right-handed shot. Then you could move Schmidt down to the second line with Pionk, and I don't know, have a right-handed top 2 defenseman, and then this team would be a lot better. And you don't switch up your goaltending. I mean, Comrie is decent as a backup. He can play some game to take some time off Hellebuck, but Hellebuck's your guy there, and that's your guy that's going to lead you to the Stanley Cup if this team's ready. I think this team is the next team to win the Stanley Cup for Canadian teams. I think they get it before Edmonton.
What about Leafs?
I think this team is the next Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup.
Okay, that's fair. That's a good pick. I also forgot to mention.
I like this team, but I don't like them this year, and that's why they never made my top 10.
That's fair.
But I do like this line. I think they got a great core to build around, and in a few years I can see them making serious pushes. This core would be better with Line A in there. But I guess if you have Line A, you don't have Dubois. So
Yeah. I also want to mention before we move on, Evgeny Svechnikov has 6 points in 13 games. Like, get shit on Detroit.
yeah. All right.
Blues.
Well, Svechnikov, I liked him in Detroit. I wish he went further in that organization, but I'm happy he's moved on and found success now. I'm not going to be
You're the bigger
salty
person.
I'm not going to be salty like a Toronto fan would.
Yeah. You're the bigger person.
That he's doing good now.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Who do you have up in the 0-2 position, buddy?
So just to feed on what you said, I think Florida's the most complete forward team. I think they have the best overall forward core. I mean, top to bottom, Duclair, Reinhart, and Bennett. I don't know. We're kind of underappreciated at their old teams. Came in here and found a perfect role. I think each of them play. I don't know, a separate game. Duclair's a scorer. Reinhardt's kind of a grinder and can get you a few points. And Sam Bennett is just penalty kill and morale guy, I think. Lundell's playing great for a third line center. He's doing great. This kind of reminds me of the first year Vegas team. This team got a lot of misfits on it. Verhaeghe wasn't appreciated in Tampa Bay. He's over here doing good now. Bennett from Calgary, Reinhart, Duclair, Hornquist from Pittsburgh.
Got a lot of pieces, man.
They got a lot of Thornton from Toronto. This is the new Vegas Golden Knights. They got so many pieces here that just were underappreciated, but just come into the system and with these players are doing great.
Mm-hmm.
Now, saying that, as much as I want to, I don't know, hype them up forwards, their defense is just not where it has to be. Uyghur and Ekblad are amazing. They're a great pairing for that top line. I wouldn't change a thing there. But then it really drops off, and then you got like Forsling and Gudas.
Forsling's playing well though.
Yeah, I guess. But would you have him as a top 4 if you had a choice to? I think he's a better top 6.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
It's Forsling and Radko Gudas. Even though Gudas is playing good this year, he's chipping on offense somehow too. And then you got Nudavara from, I think, Columbus, right? Or is that a different person I'm thinking of?
Nudie Veras from Columbus, yeah. Well, look at this, man. Gustav Forsling's got 10 points in 15 games this year.
I mean, maybe I'm full of shit though. I don't really watch Florida, but
it's just I was a fan. I was a fan of Forsling actually, but I know what you're saying. The Gudas is not the guy you want in your top 4.
Yeah, that's kind of get fucked Chicago. Chicago's struggling defensively and just trade away this fucking beauty.
Yeah,
and then you got Montour, which I guess isn't bad for a top 6, but. It could definitely use some upgrades. I think they need to bring in maybe one more piece, send Gudas down to the third line, and then I think you could get talking.
Yeah.
But Borowski's playing unreal this season. He's not worth 10 million because I'd be hard pressed to name very many goalies except for Vasilevsky that's actually worth 10 million. But I don't know. He's to get him there, and I don't know. He's playing great this year, so no complaints there. And Spencer Knight's decently reliable. He's had a couple tough games when he was trying to give Bob a break on like double headers. But I mean, he's reliable, and he's obviously the future of Florida when Bob moves on.
He needs time to grow too. Like he's 20 years old.
For sure. But I really like this Florida team. I think the fact that people were underappreciated came in here and they're all gelling together. They got a really good lineup. It must be so much fun to play with these players. Yeah. I think it'd be so much fun to play with Reinhart, Huberdeau, and Duclair. And we're not even talking about that Tippett fella either. Tippett's got a couple goals now in the season.
Oh yeah,
he's playing pretty good too.
Yeah, he's young
his first
too.
name?
Owen
Tippett. Yeah, he's supposed to be a really good sniper.
Yeah, I'm looking at Florida now, and like a lot of these guys are near point per game, man.
Yeah, Florida's playing unreal this year.
Frank Vetrano's playing like ass, though.
He's not expected to do much, man. He's pretty much there just for, I don't know, defense and shut people down.
Yeah, pretty well.
I don't see a lot of defense on this forward core, though. There's no really defensive players. I guess Lundell's a good two-way player. Luosterainen. I don't know what type of game he plays. maybe
I don't really know
defensive.
either.
Thornton, I guess, is good defensively, but I mean, just for back checking, he's not the most swift person.
No.
So I don't know. But yeah,
Yeah, they got a good team, man. They're pretty complete, you know. It's hard to
sure.
argue against Florida being one of the most complete teams.
Yeah. Who do you got at number 1?
I went with Tampa Bay. I didn't see a reason to not put them at number 1 because they got back-to-back cups. You know, I know there's more holes in their lineup than there has been. But they have a chance to three-peat for the first time since the 79 Islanders went on their 4-year run. They won 4 cups in a row.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. With Kucherov in the IR, maybe they find a way to sneak in and add some pieces somewhere.
That'd be so greasy doing that 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. And they have the best goalie in the world right now.
Yeah.
I think their defense has big names like fucking Cernak, McDonough, fucking why am I forgetting Hedman? Hedman's the last name I thought of. What
Hedman's yeah, man.
Edmonds there. Then the forward group: Stamkos, Kucherov, Point, Killorn, Palat, Point,
never ending, man.
Colton. Yeah,
The
they got a lot
offensive
of good
threats
players
on that team just doesn't end. Doesn't end with the top 6 like a lot of teams. It goes well into the bottom 6.
And the thing with Tampa Bay is they can play any style you want. You want to play defensive, they'll play defensive. You want to play offensive, they'll play offensive. You want to check and game, they do everything. So I think I put them at number 1 because they've won 2 cups in a row, and they probably want to get that third one really bad. You know, that's official. That's official dynasty.
Yep, I'd say three.
I think they're in
3 years.
I
would
think
say
they're close to
maybe
dynasty
a dynasty now.
I think they're close to dynasty, but if they win that third cup, it's not even an option. Everybody knows.
Oh yeah, obviously they go down in history.
Yeah. But we'll see how it shakes out. I got them at number 1 on my list, and I believe they're really looking forward to that third cup, and I wouldn't be surprised if they got it. I think it'd be kind of boring because I want to see somebody else raise it, but
yeah,
you know, it is what it is. You have anything to add?
No, I think I already talked about Tampa Bay enough.
All right, who's your first contender here?
Well, the reason I'm wearing this hat and this jersey,
go fuck yourself.
Brian Larkin, the best captain in the world. Raymond's gonna win the fucking Calder. Sider's gonna win the Norris.
You got it all wrong, buddy.
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
I got Carolina. I got Carolina.
Okay.
Like you said, probably the best coach, or one of the best coaches in the league right now. And I mean, just the work ethic that he brings really feeds down into his players.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina is, I don't know, the best team out of the gate so far. I mean, I guess Florida does have more or less regulation losses, but they've got the same amount of regulation losses, but they've got 3 overtime or shootout losses, which just I guess gives them more points. But their top 6, this is the most complete line for me. They've got the best defensive team. They're getting the best goaltending from Anderson right now. Their top 6, their second line could be a top line on some teams in the league. And it doesn't stop there either. The third line, Niederreiter, fuck, pronounce that name from Minnesota. Niederreiter, thank you, Jordan Stahl and Victor Fast. That's a good third line. And then their fourth line, Lawrence, Steppen, and Martin Hook, just like a greasy except line. For Lawrence, that bottom 6 is just like older players that just know how to get it done. Has been playing for a long time, and then are hard on the puck. And then you go to their defense, and they got Jacob Slavin, Brady Shea, and Eric Cole on the left side. Ethan Bear, Pesci, and D'Angelo. D'Angelo gets a lot of shit, but he is a good offensive defenseman. Pesci and Slavin is probably some of the better defensive defensemen right now in the Eastern Conference. And Ethan Bear is just a solid defenseman too.
That was a good trade for both teams. I think Carolina won. I think Edmonton won on that trade.
Well, I think Edmonton could definitely use Bear.
Yeah. But Warrenfogel's been good for him though. He's been getting his points.
Have. Yeah, for sure. No, I guess you can't argue. You can argue for both sides.
That's a good hockey
Carolina
trade.
Might have won. It is, yeah. I think Carolina might have won by a bit though. So,
Yeah, they might have, because Ethan Bear's got a little more upside, I think.
yeah, I think so too. Well, I think the highest that Fogel's going to go is third line, and he might get like 30 points a year.
Fogel's on a good deal though. He's like 3 years, 4 years left on a $2.5 million contract. So he's kind of
that's great
locked
for
up.
Edmonton. Carolina doesn't really need those cap savings, but Edmonton definitely does, and that's why they got to play like Bear, I guess, back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Carolina, for my money, they could win it. They're ready to win a Stanley Cup right now. They've got the pieces in place. They've got the goaltending. They got the coaching. They could easily win it this year. And if they did, I mean, they look good on paper and they look good on ice.
I think you're right, man. I love Carolina's makeup, and again, I shit on them at the start of the year, which I regret it, but that's you can't take that back. And
that's right, man.
I thought the goaltending was going to be. I don't want to shit on. Now you're probably thinking, "Oh, he's a Leafs fan. He's pissed off Anderson left." No, not really. I mean, I'm happy for him.
No, I know what you were saying, because I mean, how often can a team totally shake up their goaltending and still be all right? Like, I've never seen that before, and you probably don't see it very often. But just brought in 2 different goalies, and they're still just as good.
When we do a power ranking out again sometime in the next month or so, you'll definitely see Carolina jump up on mine.
I'd say
pretty insane.
Where were they 2 on your last one? Do you remember?
I think they were like 16th, something like that, mid.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see.
But they'll jump.
Promise you that to add about any other teams or any teams we've talked
about? Not really, man. I just I felt like I could have added a nice few teams to this, but
it's hard.
Only pick 10.
Chewing it down to 10 teams. It's
but there's also a lot of teams that I wouldn't have even considered. Like, I mean, look at a team like Vancouver. They figured they'd be in this conversation. They're not even close in my eyes.
No.
Well,
Dallas, that's a weak division, right? That's a weak Pacific Division, and teams like LA and Anaheim are just totally taking advantage of Seattle and Vancouver's slow start.
Yeah. Even a team like Dallas, I don't think they're close. I think their chance to win was when they were in the finals against Tampa. I don't think they're going to get close again.
And the most disappointing thing is probably Chicago. They're looking to go for a run, bringing in Seth Jones and Fleury, and they are a joke of this league. Actually, they're moving up the standings now that they fired their other coach, though. They're moving.
I think on paper, it looked good, but I don't know. It's just like, stop trying to hold on to the fucking 2015 team. We're moved on.
I think Chicago's going to move up a lot. I think Chicago's going to finish probably 23rd or something in the league, opposed to they were like 30th.
I think you're right. I think you're right on that. Yeah,
they're gonna move up a bit, but
I think Ottawa's going to get it together too. I think Ottawa's going to move up from 30th. I think they're like 30th now, 29th.
I can't see it. I think they got a bit lucky last season. I think they're going to come back down to earth. I think they're going to.
I like the group.
I said Detroit was going to finish below Ottawa and Montreal. I know for a fact you're going to finish above Montreal. Montreal is dog shit this year.
I think Detroit's looking at their early 20s, like 20th, 19th, 21, something like that.
Yeah, they might sneak in. That's too bad though, because there's a nice few good prospects in the top 10.
Yeah, I'd like to see Detroit have another lottery pick though, just one more.
Yeah,
I'd like to see him get a center.
Who do we have? We have Berggren coming in. Fuck. I don't know. We do have Veleno though,
and Rasmussen.
Veleno and Rasmussen. Yeah,
but I'd like to see
not making more of an impact.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, it would have been really nice when Detroit was at their lowest to be. I know they got some really good players like Sutter and Raymond, and you wouldn't trade that because you got some star players, but it would have been nice to see him grab a really good center.
Yeah,
because you need those centers.
I wanted us to get Trevor Zegras just because he had the same name as me, and I like the way he played. But I'm happy we got Sider from 2019 now.
Oh, Sutter is a fucking steal.
Sider is already our best defenseman.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Because I was hoping Hronek was going to have a really good season again.
And I like Hronek too. I think he's a solid defenseman, but Suter's just on a different level.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Anyways,
that's it for me.
That's about it. All right. Would you like to wish the listeners well? kind of cast them off. Steve?
Yeah. Like everybody, like the Instagram page Hockey Tank, and go to the YouTube channel, Hockey Tank Podcast, I think it is. Subscribe to that. I mean, we got videos. They're not as frequent. It's definitely, if you want to keep track of us better, you're better off going to Instagram, because we're both in post-secondary education. I mean, it's hard to keep up with the YouTube. It's just so much work.
Yeah, it's just so easy just to get on Instagram and just throw something up really quick. And then make a whole thumbnail, like edit the video, put in descriptions, titles, and all that.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot harder to bang out a YouTube video, but I mean, if you want to keep track of us, I recommend Instagram. It's not daily, but it's, every week there's a couple posts up there.
I'd say every week. We probably 3 or 4 times a week, maybe.
Yeah, a couple times a week.
3 times a week, I'd say.
Instagram story is pretty active there too. So I always throw a few things up. So if you do like watching it, feel free to do that. And it's on all streaming platforms for your podcast. So whatever you want to listen to it on or recommend to your friends, they can watch it on pretty much anything. That's all I have to say. See you next week. Trevor, you can end it there.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next week. Take care.